Folks, ho ho ho. Sorry, I don't know why I just because we're near Christmas now, right? We're a week away from Christmas, I think. I don't, God, everything is just speeding towards 2025. Thank God. But welcome to So Bad It's Good. This is your pal Ryan, and this is your Friday episode. You did it. You didn't think you were going to make it through this week, but you did it. And now we get to celebrate by going to one of the weirdest flipping locations that I've ever seen on television, and that is Salt Lake City, even though this episode kind of takes place in the Palm Springs area adjacent. But I'm so happy you're here. Let's get weird. Let's get freaky deaky. There's I don't even have the words anymore to say how off the rails this season of Salt Lake City is. But I want you to know I mean that with the highest praise, the highest compliments. And we're going to get into every single moment. And we ended this week's episode with a mid-season trailer that looks just as unhinged as this season is. This is episode 9 that we're going to be talking about. So that means we'll probably get like an 18 episode season, which I would go 19 at this point. And I'm almost nervous because we saw the season trailer at the beginning, and it showed like a fight between Mary Cosby and Meredith, and that wasn't in the mid-season trailer at all. So if Bravo, if you cut that out of the rest of these episodes, we're gonna have words. I mean, I'm gonna do the same crap I always do and just talk about it on this podcast, but consider that words. I'm happy you're here. How are you? I hope you're okay. A lot of content this week. I was explaining, I think, to the Patreon today. I did a Patreon episode, and I tend to, when I'm a little unstable, I kind of tend to just throw everything I can into the podcast, and I just keep on podcasting and podcasting because it makes me feel safe. It makes me feel safe, and I get comfort out of it. So hopefully I can provide you with just a little bit of comfort. So I'm just glad you're along for the ride. So here are the episodes we released this week. We had Pop Culture Roundup with Dana Omari at IG Famous by Dana. Okay, check, right? Great. We had Danny Pellegrino. Amazing. That's a super fun conversation. Remember to go catch up on these episodes this weekend. Literally, I am forgetting the episodes we did, and I'm having to go. I'm like, okay, what episodes did we do? I remember those two. We also did. Okay, it's coming. It's coming. Oh, yeah. Jace. Oh, yeah. A little guy named JC Chazé from NSYNC talking about his new musical theater concept album, Playing with Fire. That was a fantastic interview. We had Rob Sheffield, one of my favorite authors and writers for Rolling Stone. He has a new book about Taylor Swift called Heartbreak is the National Anthem. Man, two dudes just geeking out about Taylor Swift. You cannot get more manly than that. And then we had, I did a bonus episode with Shekinah Garner, who is from 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way on TLC. The tell-all airs this Monday, or the first part of the tell-all airs this Monday. And if you watch 90 Day, her and Sarper are just, they're like a genetically perfect couple. And this man, when they were getting together, he said he slept with, I think, 2,500 women over text, and she was like, that's a lot. And then it was a mistake. It was actually 25,000 women. Wait, is that no? Wait, or maybe he said 250 women, and then it turned out to be 2,500. Anyways, it was a big number. 2,500 or 25,000. We're in this. That's a lot. That's a lot. So she was excellent. And then the back half of that episode, I wanted to give a little something more. So I did a full recap of Bravo has this newish podcast called Hot Mic with Alex Baskin, the executive producer of Vanderpump Rules, Beverly Hills, Orange County, The Valley. And it was behind a paywall for the last year, but these last 2 episodes, they released the paywall finally. And this past week, he had Brittany Cartwright, and then today he had Jax Taylor. So we did a full recap of Brittany Cartwright. We also addressed a lot of the Vanderpump Rules rumors that have been coming out today about a 3-week season that allegedly is being filmed in January. Guys, I always say just take everything that you hear with a grain of salt. Nothing. I mean, just wait till you hear it from Bravo or something. But it's fun to talk about rumors. It's fun to speculate. I do not know that to be fact, but man, I'll be there I'll be there when and if it happens. So we did that on the back half. And then I was like, I was going to put the Jax Taylor recap, his interview with Alex Baskin in there. But then the Brittany one took so long. So I did a whole nother hour plus for the Jax Taylor recap. And I put that over on the Patreon. So patreon.com/ so bad it's good. The Jax one, this guy is on another level. So the Brittany interview, so much good information, and you truly feel for Brittany in so many ways. And then Jax's interview is just classic Jax, where he talks about learning so much in the mental health facility, but then in the same breath, he'll be like, but it's Brittany's fault, dude. It's Brittany's fault. And it talks about how he moved in next to Schwartz. I mean, there are so many good pieces of information. So that's over on the Patreon. Also did a 2-hour Vanderpump Rules Season 2, Episode 2 recap, which was delightfully unhinged, just like this episode of Salt Lake City. So listen, I know it's a lot. I'm not going to apologize for that. It's keeping me somewhat sane to just throw myself into work right now. And yeah, so you got tons to catch up on. But today we're here to talk about Salt Lake. Now, I do not want to start by admonishing the audience or anything like that, because I know you guys are good. You're cool. I don't need to talk to you, but like the ratings on these shows, I'm getting worried. I'm just hoping the streaming numbers, which usually aren't released, like they'll give a top 10 on certain shows of the day on these streaming platforms, but they don't really release hard and fast numbers. Now, this week's Salt Lake City episode got 0.381 million viewers. So that's 381,000 viewers on the night of its release, with a 0.11 in the 18 to 49 demo. That's the demo. I always remind you, that's what advertisers are looking to advertise towards. Now, last week's episode got 0.354. 0.354. So this week they increased it. I'm not a math guy, but it sounds like 2,700 viewers. So a little bit of an increase, and the demo stayed the same, 0.11. That's not a lot, man. You think back in the day, some of the first run OCs or Ronies, you get 1.1 on a non-finale, non-reunion show. So, and just to compare it to the other ratings in Bravo this week, Below Deck Sailing Yacht got a 0.488. So Below Deck Sailing Yacht beat Salt Lake City. And this is actually kind of, I don't know, this feels low for a Below Deck Sailing Yacht. Below Deck's usually, like the Below Deck usually gets like 0.781 in that kind of range. Sailing Yacht's a little more independent, I guess. Now Potomac got a 0.535 million viewers and a 0.14 in the 1849 demo. So that's an improvement if you compare it to Salt Lake City. And then Orange County is the top Housewives show. The first part of the reunion, we got 0.673 million viewers with a 0.16 in the 18 to 49 demo. And Roni got a 0.359 million viewers. Now, this week was a vast improvement from the week before, but also remember that was election night in America. So it got a 0.359, and that's a season high for them in total viewers. So you guys, fucking Roni beat Salt Lake this week. Roni, the show that everybody online is bitching and moaning about, beat Salt Lake. So this is what I need from you guys. I know you're tired of canvassing. I know you're tired of knocking on doors. I don't want to have to start sending texts looking for donations to try to spread the gospel of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, but we are not doing our jobs. Listen to me. My voice is almost gone. It's in pain, you guys. But this is a damn good show. And at the same time, let it be our little secret. Let it be the thing that we can laugh about together. We're outsiders, man. We're the uncool. Let us realize how damn hysterical this show is. So if it needs to be our little secret, it can. And luckily, with the power of television and the power of these streaming platforms, we can enjoy or start this season whenever we want to, right? I believe this will be a season I'll come back to in years to come. Maybe when I have a couple kids, I'll be like, gather around the hearth, family. I'd like to put on season 5 of Salt Lake City. Oh, Dad, not again. Oh, please, Dad. No, it hurts. No, you'll sit and you'll enjoy it. Heather's not in this episode. It's good. It's good. No, Dad, you will do as you are told. Starting strong. Hey, guys, just a reminder, if you love how insanely good this podcast is, remember to leave it a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It's a free, easy way to support your fellow podcasters, not just for me, but do it for everybody else out there. Do it. Just get willy-nilly. Just act like you're seeing a dog photo on Instagram where you smash down that thumb because you're like, I love dogs. Or if you see a baby photo on Instagram, you're like, I like it. Baby photo. Treat that like you would putting a 5-star review onto a podcast. It really, really, really does help. Oh, what else do I got to say, folks? There's not much else going on in my life. Just podcasting. Oh, I was like, well, I say that, but then I was on TMZ today and I was talking about Diddy, you know, with the TMZ gang. So if you check your local listings, I guess that was on TMZ today. And it's always interesting because what they do is they'll reach out to you to see if you want to do it. And then you'll wake up at like 7 a.m. or something, and they'll give you like a list of topics to choose from. And, mine was like a Kardashian one. Kim Zolciak and Chet Hanks were spotted at a Jelly Roll concert. And that was one. And then there was a Diddy one. And I said I wanted the Kim Zolciak Bierman and Chet Hanks going to a Jelly Roll concert. That was like my number one pick. So they're like, oh yeah, you do that. So you write up a little blurb and then they approve the blurb and then you say it and Harvey and, Harvey Levin, you talk to them about it really quickly. And so I wrote it, everything was approved. And then I think they got rid of that story at the last minute, which bummed me out because I was like, my whole point of the comment was, listen, I don't know if they're doing the hippity dippity. They're super flirtatious on they were super flirtatious on The Surreal Life that was on MTV this season. But there is just something, it's like I was telling you guys how I need Martin Short and Meryl Streep. I need them to confirm their relationship. Something with them, like seeing them holding hands or on a date, like fills me up with like joy and serotonin and all of the good things. The same, this shows you how cheapened I can make things, is the same would if I could get a picture of Kim Zolciak Bierman over at Tom Hanks's place for Thanksgiving. Like if Chet was like, Dad, you said I could bring a friend. Here's my new friend, Kim Bierman. Like if come on, man. That I feel like that would just align all of the planets. We would be at one with each other once again after these divisive couple of weeks, years, decades. So that was it anyway. So they got rid of that story. Then I had to talk about stupid old Diddy. Oh God. This season of Salt Lake City is so bizarre that at one point, like I keep getting scared that at one point they're gonna be like, Lisa was at a freak off party. Like it's not even, I shouldn't even joke about it, but it's that bizarre of a season of like, Lisa was like, no, I was invited to a party, but never inside. You've got to understand there was like parties within a party and me and John stayed outside. There was never baby lotion involved. No, just Vita tequila. So I did that, and then I just did a bunch of podcasting. The only respite for relaxation today, I went on a walk. I've been trying to go on more walks, and I was listening to my Al Pacino's autobiography called Sonny Boy. And I just keep telling you, I haven't been in love with an audiobook this much since Barbara Streisand's 44-hour autobiography. Just Al Pacino, just like, then I did this. You know how it is. He's so chill, and he's such an artist that he just talks about making all of these amazing films. But he's like, I didn't know what I was doing as Michael Corleone. We were shooting the first couple of weeks, and I go home and I'm having a drink and I'm just pacing, and I realize we got to shoot it all again. I didn't have anything. Nothing was up there on the screen. Wait, but you got to do what you got to do, but you're costing the studio money. Ooh-ah. It is so, I love finding audiobooks like that makes you want to walk. You're like, well, I guess I'll exercise just so I can give myself the treat of listening to this audiobook. Okay, let's get into this. Listen, I've said this a couple times now, and I've said it a couple times this week. I know a lot of us are feeling kind of weird. It's been a real weird couple weeks. But what if I told you that I could take you away from all of that weirdness? I could take you away from that and I could transport you to a different land. Well, today I can do that because I'm going to transport you to these ladies of Salt Lake City because you will never have me believe that this takes place in this universe. There is no way that Real Housewives of Salt Lake City takes place in the universe that we currently live in. It's making me believe in the Marvel multiverse. Like this has to be on some kind of multiverse because there's no way this is real. And I don't mean that they're faking or acting. Like I understand these people genuinely exist, but I just know, or it's like, it's a weird team up film that you watch growing up with a bunch of superheroes that aren't meant to be together. And so there's like a lot of friction, but each one has like their weird little talent. And I just feel week after week, I'm like, no shit, this is happening. Wow. It's like, you're not going to convince me that Lisa Barlow is real. There's just no way. And I know she is real. I've met her and all that, but there's just no way that Lisa Barlow is real. She, at the end of this episode, says she's not going to go home because she doesn't fly coach. She hasn't flown coach since college. She's like, oh my God, look, I'm in 17C. She's in an aisle. God forbid Lisa Barlow flies coach with the rest of us suckers. Let them eat cake. Let them eat cake, Barlow. I couldn't believe it. Like I am, like I've always said about Lisa, one of my favorite housewives on the planet. At the same time, I vehemently disagree with most of her behavior. She can never be wrong. She says the most ridiculous things. She picks sides like she's picking names out of a hat. John Barlow seems like do you get this vibe too? I don't hear anybody say this. I love him so much, and he really does seem like a saint sometimes, but it seems like he's actively making fun of Lisa in the subtlest manner ever. Like he'll just be like, oh yeah, of course. Yeah, of course we can't go home. Of course you've got to only play coach. Yeah, no, totally. Of course. It feels like he's so making fun of her in the smallest way. John, if you're listening, if you could send me a smoke signal or something to know if I'm warm, if I'm correct in this. It just feels like at this point, he's accepted his fate and it's Lisa's show. And I don't even know how to explain it. And also Heather Gay, not in this episode, not even with a FaceTime call. And I thought it was, it was great. It was great. And by the way, I mentioned this the last couple of weeks. There's a Salt Lake City after show that you can watch on Peacock. If you don't have Peacock, there's also a podcast version of that. It's usually like 18 to 23 minutes. And it talks about it looks like they did these interviews like a month ago or something. And it adds so much to the viewing experience. There's so much new information. Like Lisa will tell you about the coach thing, like flying coach. Whitney will talk about her feelings about Lisa not wanting to fly coach, and Bronwyn's talking about it too. Mary Cosby's paired with Angie Katzenavas. It's just, if you want to keep the feeling you have going when you're watching Salt Lake and you're like, oh my God, this must be what acid feels like, watch the Salt Lake City after show. It adds a lot more to the viewing experience. I want an after show of the after show. Well, actually, let's count this as the after show to the after show. The after party to the after party, folks. This episode, Season 5, Episode 9. This is called Revenge is Best Served in Coach. Now, if you went in cold to this episode, not knowing, you would be like, revenge, okay, that's a Housewives kind of terminology. Best served in coach. Do they go into a Coach purse store? Do they, coach, what, horses, coach? What do we do? And then at the end, you find out that it's because Lisa Barlow won't fly coach. Chef's kiss. This show is like an onion. You just keep peeling the layers. Now, the description that the Peacock gives us says Bronwyn and Lisa's tension grows. Todd's frustration grows. Meredith questions Sean's comments. Sean is Angie Katzenavas' husband. Todd is Bronwyn's husband, the Todd father. Now, I tried to stick up for Todd last week, and I thought, listen, what a way to stand up for your woman. I'm not going to deal with this crap. No, Bronwyn, they're going to get out of there. No, I did not create the Palm Pilot with this kind of attitude. They've got to go. So I kind of liked it. And now I'm getting a little nervous because it wasn't a great showing for Todd this episode. And I will say, even if you watch Todd in the background in a lot of the scenes, he's on his phone, but he's a businessman, dude. He's doing business things. Of course, he's going to be on his phone. He doesn't have the luxury of just being a John or a Justin. He's a Todd, and he's got things on his mind, and he doesn't want to fill up his time with these arguments. Yes, of course. You're saying, Ryan, then why be on this show? I don't know. Maybe Bronwyn explained the concept of this show way differently, or maybe he was in like, Taiwan or like a business person place collecting his Starbucks mugs. And he was like, yeah, whatever. We'll talk about it later. And yeah, do it if you want to. And I don't think he loves the experience. And I also think it's like the other men are like, wait a sec, we're allowed to say we don't like this? The problem is some of these guys now, the husbands are in their 5th season, and you can tell that they kind of dig it. Like they're like, I get what I'm doing here. I'm fucking Seth Marks. I am Seth fucking Marks. I'm taking time away from my job at Big Lots in Columbus, Ohio to film scenes because I'm that fucking magnetic on camera. You know that, right? You can tell he likes it. Justin likes it. John, I think he likes it, but he's ashamed he likes it. I think there's guilt involved in him liking it. Sean, Angie, Sean seems like a straight shooter. I mean, listen, I don't know. It's all reindeer games, but Todd feels like the black sheep of the husbands right now, not because they're treating him differently, but because I don't think he's just like, what the fuck is that? What am I doing here? This is crazy, Bronwyn. I'm coming out here for a weekend. I want to relax and I want to watch cars race around a track. And he's now having to deal with all this fighting. And it gets my stomach queasy because we see how shit like this goes. And yes, the obvious comparison was Erica and Tom Girardi, right? Which I don't think that, because I believe all of Todd's business is on the up and up. Yeah, I do think there's a way potentially to make money the right way. And I'm praying that Todd's made his money the right way. I truly believe that. And also Todd, like I've known a couple of people through past relationships or friends that have been involved with like real businessmen. And Todd reminds me a lot of those people where they're high functioning, but they do not suffer fools gladly. And it's their way or the highway. They're kind of soft spoken, but they can really lay the law down. And they are just, like I said, they're just constantly working. It's just about deal after deal after deal after deal. And they do a lot of cool things, but when they're at those cool things, they're still working. They're still going. They'll just be rolling calls all day long. So I've seen people, I mean, that's the vibe sometimes I get when I see Todd. And obviously the preview for next week and the mid-season trailer has a couple of other Todd related comments, and none of them sound great. I can't tell if it's Franken editing or they're trying to make us think it's something that it's not. And I do believe Bronwyn genuinely loves her husband. They have a 10-year relationship now. And if you catch a little bit of Bronwyn's story up to this point, with her and her daughter, she's seen some shit, right? She's seen some shit. And Bronwyn actually made a post for her husband the night this aired on Instagram, which we'll read at some point during this 8-hour extravaganza. So yeah, just relax, guys. Just grab your cocktail, and we're just going to chat for a couple of hours. We're going to ease into it, as I've been shouting for the last 24 minutes. So I know people like that. I'm just worried because also the other example you keep reading is the Kelsey Grammer example, where Kelsey kind of had Camille on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And I think his attitude was, well, I don't want to be in this relationship. At least Camille can have her own thing. Do you remember that awkward episode when they all went to Broadway to see Kelsey in the musical Victor Victoria? And backstage, you could just tell it was just wild. And this was somebody you grew up watching on television. Even if you didn't watch Frasier or Cheers, somebody in your family did. So you always knew Kelsey Grammer. Dude was unbelievably rich once Frasier came around. And you're just like, dude, this dude really did bring Camille onto a Housewives show so he could get out of the relationship. Now, in no way do I feel that's Todd. I don't feel that Todd's like, yeah, I'm not, I don't know. I don't get that vibe either. I don't know. They're obviously Todd's just a little grumpy, and that's okay. You know, he's a little older, he's a little grumpy. He's worked hard. He's earned that grumpiness. I do like that he played the volleyball with the other men. I thought that was nice. He also pooled with him, so we can't say he just shut himself away completely. But I am aware that we now have to be on a Todd father watch. I am aware that this, things can change on a dime. But I will say it's nothing as ridiculous as my favorite Tom Girardi moments when he would stumble in and try to impress the ladies of like, let me tell you about the time I met John Wayne. I was a kid and he came in and it was John Wayne. We haven't gotten that moment from Todd because Todd doesn't feel like a showman. Tom Girardi felt like a razzle dazzle guy of like, hey, the men are talking toots. Let me tell you about my history. Like, remember, he met Erica Jane. She was a fucking hostess at a restaurant he frequented as a big time lawyer. She wasn't even a waitress. She was a hostess. What are we even doing with our lives, folks? What are we even doing with our lives? What do you guys got going this weekend? You got anything cool happening? You're going to get out? You're going to stay in, stare at the ceiling? What are we doing? Remember, the OC recap will be on Saturday. We'll get into all the Lexus. There's the door, Shannon Bedore. Do you see what I did? Her name's Bedore, and I said door. Like, where you? Okay, you got it. Yeah, okay. That's our opening salvo. Those are the opening warning shots of things that we're going to talk about this episode. Wait, what happened? What the fuck happened with Alibaba? Alibaba. Did the Alibaba gate, did that just die? Is that, I mean, we had it mentioned a couple of times, but like, did we decide not to get to the bottom of it? Like, it was all hot and heavy when they were in Milwaukee. And now did we just decide, did the girls and the production go, you know what? Yeah, who fucking cares? Yeah, smoke them if you got them. We don't need to follow that. So, like, we keep bringing it up, but like, did Whitney ever say definitely not Alibaba? Like, yeah, same photos from the Alibaba website, but nothing to do with Alibaba. So we still have that out there. Mary Cosby has one scene this episode. And like I said, if you didn't know the information that I've shared with you guys over the last couple of weeks, you would kind of think, oh, another weirdly funny scene, but it's actually kind of a tragic scene when you view it through the lens of what is actually happening with her son. So we had one of those. Brittany Bateman, or we call her Brittany. Brittany was not in this episode. I don't even think, did we even mention Brittany once? No Jared Osman. But like I said last week, that's how deep this bench is. You don't need Brittany. You don't need Jared. You don't need Heather. You don't need Mary. I mean, I need Mary this season, but you don't need of them. And we were able to keep storylines going, right? Meredith Marks has finally come back from her sabbatical. And obviously still very weird with Seth because Seth revealed on the trip that he has to leave a day earlier and forgot to mention it or decided to mention it once they got there, which seems so dumb, especially somebody in business. So it seems calculated because in what world? I mean, it is amazing for somebody like Seth, who seems like, a genuinely or trying to be a positive guy, to be potentially so scared of his wife that he's going to wait to tell her that he has to leave early in front of the cameras because he potentially is gambling on the fact that she might take it easier on him than behind the scenes. And he's doing it like in front of Lisa and Justin of like, yeah, I got to go. Hey, speaking of that, real quick, loving the sun out here. This is an amazing place. I got to leave back to Columbus and there's going to be, I got to go. I got to go. You would think that would be a conversation in a relationship that's lasted this long, a private conversation before cameras went up. Nope, not with Seth. Seth is like, I need witnesses. I don't know where this is going to go. I love my wife, but Big Lots needs me. Big Lots. Yeah. The Big Lots needs Big Seth. And Meredith, seems to really not be happy with that. Whitney just seems very excited to be there. Whitney appreciates a coach seat on a flight. Whitney and Justin both seem like this is amazing. I love everything about it. This you're sure we don't have to pay? Okay, this is cool. Angie and Sean, Angie, obviously, and guys, this is wild. So, I always try to prepare and I try to like look into things and look up pieces of information that you might find interesting. So this week, I was like really deep on Reddit. And I found this comment and I looked into it and I found out Angie Katsanavas is Greek. Can you believe it? I couldn't believe it. We had a very weird game at the dinner table. By the way, I always love when I say that because there's usually 2 or 3 new listeners or viewers on YouTube that'll be like, we've known about the Greek thing for years now. And I'm like, no, I know. I'm being an asshole. I'm sorry. I know. I'm a jerk. I'm a, I'm a teenage dirtbag. Yeah, guys, I've been podcasting all day, so this is going to get super, super weird on super weird. My apologies. But they played this sex game during the dinner table scene, which is like Todd and Bronwyn's anniversary. And all of a sudden we start talking about favorite positions. And I was like, holy moly. Holy moly. And my favorite was John Barlow's, who said his favorite position with Lisa is we'll get to it, but I think he says when she's on top. And then he puts in parentheses bouncing. Yeah, dummy. Yeah, bouncing. No, when she's on top and just stays. It's not soaking. It's not. No. Of course she's bouncing when she's just on top and does nothing. I was like, but it was also what a pure answer. I'm like, yeah, on top, but also want to clarify, she's bouncing, so the friction of the bouncing will do things with my pee-pee. Like I love the specification. I was like, oh, bouncing. Okay. No, not just when you lay on top and act like you're dead. Got it. Oh, that is hot. Woo! Didn't even know you could do that. Like Whitney's list was like, there was like 4 things. It was like reverse cowgirl, dirty Sanchez. Like, I mean, they were like hit me in that, like a Donkey Kong. It was crazy. God, just everywhere you looked in this episode, something bizarre or fun to talk about. Okay, so here we go. Enough of that. 32 quick minutes. Yeah. Okay, fine. We're enjoying each other's company. This is what my parents would say. Why do we got to rush the meal, right? We're enjoying each other's company right now. Yeah, we will get to the recap, but right now we're getting to know each other. We're getting to know each other. Oh, also, I got a text from one of my favorite people that I've met doing podcasting, Diallo Riddle, who hosts, I mean, he does everything. The dude's a genius, but he hosts one of my favorite podcasts that I actually listen to because I don't listen to Bravo podcasts. He hosts this podcast called One Song with him and his partner Luxury. And it is just if you are a fan of music or you want to learn more about music, this is the podcast for you because they'll just break down the most amazing bands and songs, and they'll get like the stems, which is kind of like little aspects of the song. I don't know how to explain it technically, but it'll be like, oh, the bass line from this, or the synth sound from a Depeche Mode song, and you'll be able to hear it in a whole different way, and it adds to that listening experience. And they'll always have good stories behind it. They'll have guests sometimes. It's just so flipping fantastic. Anyways, him and his wife, who I love as well, I got to meet at the Watch What Crappens Crappy Awards. They're huge Bravo fans. And he even texted me today. He was like, that Salt Lake episode. And I was like, hell yeah. I was like, that was the text to get at the right time because I had a day of work ahead of me talking about these dodo birds. And I was like, I don't know. It just made me laugh. So Diallo, if you're listening, what up? Let's do this. Diallo's like 34 minutes and you haven't even gotten to the first scene. I work in TV. We got to edit this shit. Okay. No, we're getting there. I'm just getting. Okay. We start as we always do previously on the city. And we see Whitney at the 25th anniversary Mob Wives anniversary party talking to Lisa Barlow going, "You brought the information about Prism that was posted to that account." "It's not me, Whitney. It's not fucking me." Lisa immediately gets activated. And then Justin and John having that conversation over the smashed taters. And John's like, do you feel, Justin, do you feel like you're in a position where you should apologize to Lisa for dropping an F bomb? And Justin's like, yeah, I'll have to think about that one. In full decked out in Harley Davidson regalia. I like that John says, "Do you think you're in a position?" And the first thing I think about is like, yeah, when Lisa's on top of you, bouncing. Sorry, you guys. And then we see the private jet that Bronwyn chartered for everybody to bring them to Palm Springs for this race, right? And everybody's like, "Oh my god, the house is, like, amazing." And then Seth coming out, "Meredith, I got some bad news I wanted to reveal on camera. I'm in a bucket hat telling you this. I have to leave early to go back to Columbus, Ohio." And Mary's like, "No, no, no, fuck Columbus, Ohio." Meredith in a talking head saying, "We've had these problems before. We know that we need to address." I love the we've had these problems before where Seth is adamant about having a full-time job. It's crazy. But she's like, "We got to address this before it snowballs. Him leaving early makes me feel like he doesn't want to fix it." I love like, I love back in the old days when I had a real job, I wasn't going to my job, so I couldn't fix the other things in my life. I was going to my job, usually to earn money. And then we have that scene where Lisa is like, "I'm gonna FaceTime Heather." Bronwyn went to take a shit. Time to FaceTime Heather. "Hey, Heather. Hey, what's going on?" And Bronwyn comes back of like, "What?" And here's Lisa going, "We wish you were here." And Heather's like, "Have so much fun. What's up? Hey, make sure Monica doesn't come back." And then Bronwyn kind of like making her feelings known, saying, "Heather is shit talking me while I'm trying to fucking fix it, Lisa. And everybody thinks that's Heather's the one that's missed. Figure it out, Lisa. Figure it out, Lisa." And then Todd goes up to Todd, is like, "Hey, I wasn't coming to spend the weekend here to sit through a bunch of arguments, John Barlow." And John, it just looks like a school kid that got scolded, but also I said last week, it feels like John has been in this position a lot over the years, pre even Salt Lake City of like, "Yep, we got asked to leave again potentially." So the Todd father's like, "Lisa's got to stop, or you guys got to go. You guys got to go." And then John going to Lisa at the end of last week's episode, going, "I think you need to have a conversation with Bronwyn." And that's where we leave it, right? We come back right where we left off. We see the beautiful Palm Springs, very different than the shining location we get in Salt Lake City, where it looks like you're about to see two twin girls and like a bunch of blood coming out of an elevator. But Palm Springs, the way Salt Lake does it, it makes it seem just as eerie as when they're in Salt Lake. And you have some light choral music going underneath it, like ha 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 ha. And John at least is, like, fixing herself in the mirror, and he's like, "Hey, let's walk out here. I don't want anybody hearing anything that we're talking about." And Lisa's like, "This is uncomfortable for me." She has hard times with certain letters. Like, "What are you talking about?" Like, "What?" She will say "what" instead of "what," but this is and frustrated instead of frustrated. This is frustrating. So they sit out on this back patio by the bocce ball court, and she goes, "What happened? What happened, John?" So uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable. And he sits down with his backward baseball hat on, and then Lisa's, like, starting to tear up. She's like, like, that's her default almost is, like, starting to tear up, and you know what? Part of me almost believes that I feel like Lisa is like a live wire. I think that's why we love her so much is because just at any given moment, in between sips of a giant Diet Coke, she could cry like that and probably mean it. So pause, like a long silence. She wipes a tear away from her eye, and John says, "Well, it seemed like you guys were all getting along for a second in the hot tub." I like John. John keeps track of the Lisa Barlow getting along meter at every second. He's like, I took my eyes off you for a second, but before that, I counted at least a minute where it seems like everybody was enjoying the jacuzzi." I can't believe Tom was in the jacuzzi with Raquel. I can't believe that. And John's like, and then all of a sudden it went sideways. And Lisa's like, ugh, like Paul Rudd in Wet Hot American Summer when he's picking up the fork. Ugh, ugh, ugh. He says, it's weird for me seeing you and Bronwyn. And then Lisa, he goes, even before John finishes it with, it's weird for me to see you and Bronwyn not getting along. She goes, I love Bronwyn. I like, and he goes, no, I know, I'm not saying that. I know you do. I think there's one common denominator with both Bronwyn and Angie, and it's Whitney. I think it's Whitney. I think Whitney stirs up so much shit. This is what's so beautiful about Lisa too, because listen, we have Bronwyn literally going, "Yo, it hurts my feelings. You picked up and FaceTimed Heather." And it's like, it's fucking Whitney. Alibaba is behind this. We know it. You know it, and I know it, John. And John's like, "Yeah, of course it's Whitney." But also, could it possibly be the FaceTime call with Heather after, because Bronwyn and Heather aren't getting along? Yeah, but I think the Whitney thing is the real thing we've got to focus on here. That bitch is trying to destroy us at the ground level. So John goes, "I think we need to have a conversation with Bronwyn and without anybody around." I like John's like, "Just to be safe, nobody can be around. Like we can't be it. We don't want to be able to blame Whitney for this. It's just got to be you two. We're gonna set up a cage match in Palm Springs, and it's just gonna be you two." And Lisa's like, "Yeah, no, I don't want anybody else around." And John's like, "Yeah, that way, look, you can have just a concise conversation with her and not possibly have someone else try to steer her in a different direction." And Lisa's like, "Yeah. Ugh." Okay. So Todd is like talking to Bronwyn. He's like, "Okay, let's go have some lunch. I've got a call I've got to make." And that immediately scared me because I was like, "Oh my God, he's hiring assassins. Like he's hiring armed security guards." He's like, "I'm not fucking around anymore. I'm going to enjoy the hell out of this rental property for the weekend. I've got calls to make. Bad people, Bronwyn. Bad people. You don't want to be here. You go eat the salmon. I'm going to make some calls." But of course, he's doing business, right? And then he goes, "Okay." And then we're going to have lunch and we'll have a nice afternoon. I like when somebody's like gruff with, "We're going to have a nice afternoon. We're going to have a hell of a time. We're going to be zip doody dawing out of our asshole." So Bronwyn's on the phone in a different pool outfit and kind of exhales like, "Whoo," not like a waiting to exhale Angela Bassett, but just a like, "Woo, woo." The poor chef like prepared this beautiful meal. We got like some light charcuterie trays happening, a lot of wine, and this the chef, I don't have her name in front of me, but she was there last week too. Um, I wish I could interview her. We see a production lady in the background watching Lisa come into the kitchen, and she's like trying to run out of the kitchen. I'm like, "Oh, I just made direct eye contact with Lisa. Gotta go." Lisa in a talking head goes, "I definitely don't want to leave this trip early. I came here to celebrate Todd and Bronwyn. That's what I want to do. I want to fix things with Bronwyn and move forward. I don't want the rest of the trip to feel like this. Tin roof rusted." So the food is getting served, and Bronwyn's like, "Let's go. Let's eat. I'm starving. Come on, gang." And everybody gets out there, and it's like this kind of rich, fancy, like beautiful tablescape. And they have these like table fans, these little table fans that are just like whizzing the whole conversation at kind of like chest level. That's how ritzy it is. Table fans, table fucking fans, not even overhead fans, table fans. But you just sense awkwardness, right? And Bronwyn says, "I think there's just nothing else we can do next after a contentious morning other than sit down and break bread together. Bon appetit." That's in a talking head. Todd has his arms crossed at the table. You just Todd, I have it freeze framed right now and it scares me just watching it. This man has a presence. Silence. John is delicately eating his salad while Lisa has her glasses with her arms crossed under her hands crossed underneath her chin and is just staring. Seth looks at Meredith awkwardly, Whitney chewing, Justin chewing, Lisa chewing more, Angie chewing with giant windshield wipers on her face, Bronwyn chewing, shaking her head, chewing. And then Lisa finally goes, "Okay, I wanted to talk to you. We didn't get to finish our conversation. This is not what your husband said. Your husband said, do it alone, not with the Todd father right next to Bronwyn, who said, I'm done with this nonsense. I'm here to have a good time. Why would you ever say, let's finish our conversation here with everybody at the table? This is exactly what John said not to do." So Lisa's like, I think with Heather, I don't think there was anything to defend. I feel like she was expressing her feelings, and it's hard to, like, have a conversation with you about that because I'm like, "Those are her feelings on a situation you had with her." So Bronwyn's like, "Mhm, mhm." At any moment, I just feel like Todd's gonna whisper into some hidden mic of like, "Echo, echo, bravo, sweep, sweep, sweep. The target is Lisa. The target is Lisa. Get her out. Get her out." But Lisa's like, "It's not the one I had with her. It's her." Like, so Lisa is doing this thing. It's just becoming more and more clear where she just steps away from any kind of responsibility on anything regarding friendships, right? She has opinions, but then she'll sidestep it when it gets heated. Rowan's like, "Yes, but I think when it comes to feelings, it's harder because she's expressing her feelings, where if someone's lying about me," and kind of makes a gesture towards, Whitney, where I was like, "This is exactly what we're not supposed to do." Like, if I was Todd, I'd be like, "Damn it." And Whitney sees that gesture and goes, "I'm not lying about you, Lisa. Whitney is a liar. Sandoval is a liar. I'm not lying about you, Lisa." And Lisa calmly goes, "You lie. I'm not lying about you. I'm telling you the information that I was told." Lisa goes, "You didn't ask me. You accused me." "I did. I asked you, and you said you have proof. I wanna see the proof because I didn't do it." When he goes, "Listen, I sat down calmly and you started crying, yelling, running around, and charged at my husband and incited my husband into it." Great use of words. "You incited my husband." We got a fucking January 6th situation happening, right? "You incited my husband to do all the evils of the world." And we flash back to that Mob Wives party of Lisa inciting Justin, going, "Justin, how do you do this? You have to deal with the lies and sift through the shit." And Justin's like, "She's not a liar, dude. She's a liar. Don't call my wife a liar. She's a liar, Justin. She's not a fucking liar." So in this scene, Lisa goes, "Oh, charge that you're a husband? I think your husband's capable of taking care of himself. And as a matter of fact, my husband would never talk to a woman that way your husband talked to me." And Justin's just like, "Oh God. This is nothing like the smashed taters with my boy John. Oh my God." And Bronwyn, I mean, I'm anxious. Bronwyn's anxious. I need a shot of the Todd father right now because I feel like steam must just be blowing out of his ears like a Looney Tunes character. Bronwyn in a talking head goes, "I could have sworn I was about to get an apology from Lisa, and I still want that apology, but it just takes Lisa so long to get to that apology. And by the time we almost get there, someone else is mad at her about something totally different. I may never get that apology." I mean, she's dead on. She nails it. You know, like we're coming around the bend and then she pulls somebody else into it, and now we're off to the races on something different. Whitney goes, "I felt very, very like uneasy." Oh, yeah, I'm sure you felt so uneasy. Like I felt when your husband's like, "Fuck, fuck, fuck" to me. So we get beep, beep, beep. We didn't even get this unedited on Peacock. Peacock, do your job, man. I pay $9 a month so I can hear fuck, fuck, fuck out of Lisa Barlow's mouth. And then Justin goes, "I did not say fuck, fuck, fuck to you." And now we get our shot of Todd. And Todd's just prayer hands underneath his nose going, "I can't believe this. I can't believe this. This is not what I've signed up for with these folks." And Bronwyn realizes things are going off the rails. And he's like, "I didn't say that to you. What did I say to you, Lisa?" Justin says. And then Lisa goes, "Okay, okay, 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 calm down." I like it was like, "Okay, oh, you're inciting it again." And then Todd goes, I'm gonna step in the other room. I'm gonna step in the other room." And Lisa just doesn't even pick up on any of this shit, just keeps going like a locomotive and goes, "I watched the whole thing. How do you deal with a liar?" And Justin won't even look at Lisa and goes, "You're so crazy. You're so crazy. This whole show is crazy." And then Lisa goes, "Oh, you're so crazy. Whitney, where's the fucking proof?" After just complaining about Justin's potty mouth, Lisa's got a potty mouth and says, "Where's the fucking proof? Who's gonna bring it in? Are one of the horses gonna come running in with the proof?" And then we get a shot of the horses in the barn, and they all have proof. No, they just a shot of the horses. And Lisa goes, "There's more proof in my tequila than that comes out of you." I wish Lisa had turned to the camera directly and been like, "Vita tequila, more proof than most horses have for Whitney." Love it. So now Todd Father's inside, and Lisa turns to John and goes, "This is unbelievable." And John just sips his water and smiles. In a talking head, John making a final stand is like, feels like it's nonstop. It's like Lisa breathes, she did something wrong. Lisa sneezes, she did something wrong. What's next? Whose turn is it to yell at Lisa's? He's smiling. God bless John Barlow. I mean, Lisa does do wrong things, John. You know it and I know it. So John now hops in the scene and he goes, "Okay, okay, so rewind. Ask Lisa Whitney, did she do it? Just ask the question, Whitney, with a question mark at the end." Let me specify. Quick, don't do it with an exclamation, not an ellipses. Question mark. Did she do it? And then when he goes, "Did you do it?" And then Lisa goes, "No." And John's like, there you go. Boom, done, done. Like he said, like, "Ooh, look, Sherlock Holmes cracked the case." No, okay, cool. Hey, Todd Father, you can come back out. The answer is no. And John's like, that's done. That's done. Hey, there's nothing more. Hey, there's nothing more. Everybody is like, "What the fuck is going on?" Bronwyn in a talking head goes, "Who knew all we needed was John Barlow to tell us that that's the end, that it would tie this all up with a pretty little bow. All we needed was the men to come and solve our silly little woman's problems. The end." Can you imagine this shit happening on Real Housewives of New Jersey? Joey Gorga would be like, "Can you ask the question? Did he? Oh, fuck. What is the question? Wait, what do you? Yeah, we got to put a question mark at the end of that. Frank, what do you? What goes? What's the fucking thing you put with the? What's the when you're asking a question? What's the fucking punctuation? Oh, it's fucking question mark. No. It's you were asking a question, but what's the thing you put at the end with the curly thing? Yeah. And then all of a sudden we have this little bit. There's a lot of bits during the show this week, and all of a sudden we see next time on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And we see Whitney going, "Last one in the pool has to do what?" So it's a joke about him fixing everything. And Braun was like, "He fixed that right up." I don't think that little bit landed at all. So John continues on his crusade. He's like, "Whitney, did you lie about anything to Lisa? Question mark." And Whitney goes, "Never." And Jen goes, "Done, done, done. Never lied about you. I may have said mean things that I felt at the time, but I've never lied about you." And then John's like holding Lisa into him. And Jen goes, "Lisa has never lied about you. Lisa has never lied about anyone at this table." You know? And Seth is even smiling, and you just imagine his monologue of like, "What the fuck is going on? Jesus, Columbus never looked so good. My God, give me a direct. This is fucking crazy." Meredith is just staring off. I don't even know. I think Meredith's in like a Zanny haze or something. Just like, "The clouds. Where do you think we all come from? What's my Torah? Can I remember the Torah? Alibaba. No, that's not it. That's not the Torah. Alibaba. Where's that coming from?" And then Sean, Angie's husband, turns to Angie and goes, "Didn't she tell you somebody that you're a fucking bitch, though?" Oh no, no, sorry, that's not to Bronwyn. It's to Angie. Like, didn't she tell you that you're a fucking bitch? And Angie's like, "Yeah, she told me I was." And then Lisa is like, "What?" And then we flash back to Milwaukee, where Lisa, with a mouthful of food at the Harley Davidson dinner, goes, "Don't do that to me, you fucking bitch. Don't do that." And Sean tells Lisa it's borderline abusive. And Lisa just like kind of flings her hair back. And Sean's like, "I've been privy to conversations between the two of you. I'm really taken aback by some of the abuse. I mean, it is Nixium levels of abuse that my wife is taking. Not a brand, but you know what I'm saying, on the other end of that phone call." And then Lisa's like, "Oh, wow, okay." So Lisa, now this is what happens if you just follow John Barlow's advice, take Bronwyn aside. We wouldn't have this situation happening like we had the gang up of Whitney in the first episode of the Bezos party. Now everybody's saying, "Yo, we kind of have issues with you," and your husband saying, "You've never talked shit, you've never done anything bad, solving all the problems, but there's problems." In a talking head, Lisa goes, "I'm not abusive to her. Why is her husband talking to me? He's lucky I could see him over the table." Heyo, we got a short joke, Emmanuel Lewis Webster. Shout out to Gary Coleman as well. What you talking about? Um, Also, I didn't, is Sean short? Like, the only thing I've noticed about Sean is that he loves a fucking good baseball hat. But other than that, I've never, but now we all of a sudden shots fired at Sean's height. It used to be last season his sexuality on the mean streets of Salt Lake City, and now we've taken it a step where now it's his height. So Sean goes, I'm on the other end of that, thinking to myself, Lisa, like, why the fuck do you let anybody treat you like that? Meredith looks confused. Angie's like, "Oh, touche. Look at my husband standing 25 years standing up for me, right?" And Lisa goes, "I have a different way of speaking, and if you guys clearly don't understand me, if I have hurt you, I am sorry," to Angie Katzenave. Meredith looks down and like, "Ugh, brutal, brute." John doesn't know what to say. Todd is still there for some reason. And then Seth goes, "Hey, two really important questions. Hey," and I'm like, "Oh, here we go. Oh, Seth." And I was like, I thought he was gonna stand up and have like potentially like a boner and goes, "Hey, who knows my friend little Seth, huh?" So I didn't know where this is gonna go, but I knew it was gonna be a feeble attempt at some sort of joke, right? So Seth goes, "One, I've always wanted to know if it's just me, how many people when they eat asparagus," and Meredith immediately knows where Seth's going. She's like, "Oh gosh. Oh, if I had a nickel every time Seth did this at an awkward dinner party." But Seth goes, "Hey, if every time people eat asparagus, do they smell it in their urine?" And everybody's like raising their hand. And Meredith goes, "Everybody." And Seth goes, "Oh, everybody does." And cuts the tension with the smell of asparagus pea. And by the way, isn't that the most basic thing to say? Like, I had asparagus yesterday, and like I think about it every time because it's true, but it's also something that we regularly talk about as a society. So it's not one of those, that kind of made me think there. It's like a little bit of a Stephen Wright joke. It makes you think, hey, you know, but I love that Seth's like, "This is why I'm in control of Big Lots. I know how to break tension. Bad Q3 at Big Lots, but I go in there, I make an asparagus joke. We're a team again." You know what I'm saying? Just like we're a team here at the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Todd, don't you worry about it. I got this. We're going to have fun. Asparagus pea. High five. And then somebody says no golden showers. I'm betting that's like Justin or somebody. I don't know, but like in the transcription, it says no golden showers. Yeah. And then if you want to get freaky, you pee on your lover, and then you're like, "Oh shit, you had asparagus." But everybody's loving this asparagus. I mean, it's killing. This is like Dave Chappelle. This fucking thing is destroying. Like, Seth just came out for like 3 bows. And then Seth goes, "Okay, I'm not done. The next thing is, who's up for some beach volleyball?" And I thought this is like the lead into a movie in the 80s, like a montage, like a summer break. Like, "Oh, yeah, summer is here." But Seth's like, "First the asparagus pea, Who's up for some beach volleyball? And Sean raises his hand. I am, sir. And Seth's like, all right, let's go get in our beach volleyball outfits. And then he screams, banana hammocks, banana hammocks. Super weird. I don't think we got anywhere. And I don't know how that just ended out of nowhere with asparagus pea, but it happened. But folks, all of a sudden, Salt Lake City, we realize still exists because we are transported there now. We see a clock tower. We hear really kind of intense choral music, little like drum beat, dun, 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 and we pull up on Mary Cosby's house. And Mary Cosby is walking up the stairway to upstairs. You see little Robert Jr.'s childhood picture in an ornate gold frame. It's going into little Robert Jr.'s room, and we know that because there's wood block lettering above the doorway that says Robert Jr., right? So she walks in or about to walk in and goes, Bubbies, can I come in? And we see Robert Jr. and his wife. And his wife, like, it's like they knew they were filming, so his wife, this young looks like a very young girl, very young, pretty girl, but she kinda looks like Miranda Sings, that YouTuber, like, it's a lot of blush, and, they just look so damn young, and, they're in bed together, and the girl's like, "You look cute, Mary." And they're, like, eating donuts. Like, they're, like, fully laying down, but then when Mary comes in, they sit up, and she just starts eating, like, sweets. They're both, like, picking at these sweets awkwardly, like, crumbs are just it's like it's kinda how I eat, but, like, they seem out of it, right? And Mary's looking around the room, is like, "When's the last time you picked up?" And we just see, I mean, it doesn't look, to be honest, it doesn't look that bad, but I guess it's not Mary's. But also, Mary, have you seen your fucking closet with all the mannequin heads and all that? I mean, people in glass houses. We see San Pellegrino waters. I see some Purell, I'm noticing. What is that? I think that's like, is that a weed thing? Anyways, we also see like we see like some post-it notes, and it's like kind of positive affirmations on these post-it notes. It says, "Be happy you have everyone be happy the way you have everyone else happy, baby boy. I love you." So these are little notes, I believe, from Mary to her son. "Wake up happy, my angel. Mommy loves you so much." And then it says, "Robert, rare, outstanding, beautiful, euphoric, radiant, tranquil." Oh God. This one says, "Mommy, can't wait to spend my life with you, my forever boy." Oh, these break your heart, man. We see like a water jug by the bed. We see those. God, there's a lot of little things I'm freeze framing on these images. And Robert Jr. has a vape in his hand, and what looks like a friendship bracelet from a Taylor Swift concert. And he's like, I picked up probably an hour ago. And Mary's like, "Oh, you straightened up an hour ago." And the girl's like, "Yeah, just recently." And Mary's like, "Uh-huh, uh-huh. And did you drink out of that bottle an hour ago?" It's like just a water bottle in between the bed and the nightstand. And she's like, "Yeah, yeah." And they just keep eating this donut awkwardly. Like, like there's a camera on you on top of the mom there, and they just kind of keep eating and just shoving it in their mouth. Like it's like kind of zombie-ish, right? And then the girl like is like now like it puts it up like her hand close to her mouth. She's looking down like she can't make it to her mouth. So she's like trying to force it into her mouth. And listen, I told you these kids are on the DRUGS, and it's really sad. There's not, I mean, but it's just shocking to go from Seth talking about asparagus pea to this. And I'm really, I think I don't know what the feeling is, but I'm happy that they showed this because I know it's going to come up in storylines for the rest of the season. And no matter how you feel about Mary, I think she's doing fantastic this season, but what an important story. And the whole point is to get these kids help. They are going through something, right? And Mary's just looking like, what is going on? She goes, okay, so did I come at a time where we're having an eating session? And the girl spits out a little bit of her donut in her hand. and then feeds Robert the rest of it, and Mary's like, "So what are you guys gonna do this week? What are your plans?" And they just stare at each other, silence, and Robert is just, like, in another place, right? More silence, and he's like, I don't know, to be honest." And then the girl's kinda like, uh." Mary rolls up the sleeves to her sweater, and then in a talking head, Mary has what looks like a knight's armor on top of her head, but it also looks a little Diana Rossi with like gold, like silver danglies, but very like a knight's armor. And Mary says something's going on with Robert. Something's going on with his headpiece. I love it, but she says, "I'm concerned. I'm concerned." Typically, like very ambitious, but lately he's just not doing anything. I don't remember ever being ambitious, but I'll take Mary at her word, and so Mary in the scene goes, "You gonna get dressed, get up, get a shower, brush your teeth," and they kinda stare at each other, and she's like, "Go somewhere?" And he's like, she's like, "You gonna comb your hair?" He's like, I combed it a little bit." And the talking head, she goes, "I just feel like it's my fault because I definitely spoiled him. I mean, he is my life." Dude, this is a different talking head outfit than the talking head outfit she just did 20 seconds ago. Now it's like this pink number with like a gold chain around, like a whole different talking head outfit. But she says, he gives me reason to live, Mary says. Fudge, dude, damn. I feel like I'm losing him to something, and it's not good. Are we allowed to say on these shows, like, I know we're allowed to say when somebody's drunk and all, are we allowed to say, like, "Yo, fentanyl"? Are we allowed to say, "Yo, thi" are we allowed to say names of drugs on these reality shows? But she says it's not good, and I feel like I can do something about it if I just find him, and whatever that takes, I'm gonna do it, Mary says. She tells them, she goes, like, "I feel like I'm talking right now to 2 little babies," and the girl goes, "Yeah, yeah." You're not even prepared for the world that's out there." And the girl's shaking her head. "And I want you ready, Robert. I want you ready for that. Right now, I just don't think you are." And there's not a lot of reaction on their faces, and that's what makes this scene even sadder, right? And we cut to a commercial. Oh, only an hour and 7 minutes in. Great. Going super speedy. We come back from commercial and we got some trademark licensing issues because all of a sudden we see a chyron that pops up that goes Bravo presents, and we get like a very filtered shot of like the Palm Springs surrounding areas, and you see a ball says Salt Lake City Top Wives. So it's a full-on ripoff of Top Gun, and we have like the Howard, I think his name was Howard Faltermeyer, who composed the Top Gun theme. So they intersperse that with a like the made like kind of a made up a made up song that kind of sounds like that, and then also a made up song that sounds like Kenny Loggins' song "Playing with the Boys" from the movie Top Gun. Well, during the volleyball scene in the first Top Gun, right? Oh my god, the and we see a jet fly across the sky, and we hear radio check, flight 12, clear runway 7, hold prepare for flight 12. What are we even do like, this is insane, and all of a sudden, we see, the women putting, cooking spray on their men's shirtless bodies, and we hear Meredith go, "Cooking spray?" And when he's like, "Yeah," and everybody's laughing, and it's all sepia toned. I don't know, it's so super weird. I didn't really see this coming, and all of a sudden we have a volleyball montage, like da 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 da, and that's when the Kenny Loggins music comes, or the Kenny Loggins ripoff music comes in. Now, just so you know, you guys all seen Top Gun, but if you haven't, it's the most ridiculous thing ever. I think the movie came out in like no, it's great, but I'm saying the scene in Top Gun with the volleyball is the most ridiculous scene ever because it's like Tom Cruise, Val Kilmer, all of these dudes like ripped playing volleyball. They're fighter pilots, but they also like to cut loose playing volleyball. And there's a song, I remember this so vividly as a kid because I had the Top Gun cassette. And there's a song called Playing with the Boys by Kenny Loggins. And it's like, playing with the boys. I'll be staying with the boys after chasing sunsets. Let's play with the boys. And even as a kid, I was like, huh, that's a weird it's like that's a weird song. That's a weird song, man. Playing with the boys. And as I got older, I was like, man, that's kind of homoerotic. And then I was like, that Top Gun volleyball scene also kind of homoerotic. And this Salt Lake City montage ripoff of Top Gun, kind of homoerotic. And they're like, "Come on, let's go, let's do it." And Sean does like the exact pose that one of the guys does in the volleyball scene from Top Gun, where he's flexing his muscle. Now, I will say the Todd father is the only one with a shirt. Todd has a body like mine, and I wear a shirt in the shower. So Todd is the only guy out here with a shirt on, just like a young Anthony Edwards, who went on to, big heights in the TV show ER. Anthony Edwards played Tom Cruise's fighter pilot partner, Goose, right? And he was like a scrawny, skinny thing. But I always cracked up in that scene even as a kid because I was like, why does Anthony Edwards have a shirt on and all the other guys don't? Because Anthony Edwards wasn't ripped like all these other dudes. And that's why Todd is my favorite in this scene. I don't know. It's completely ridiculous. So all of a sudden, that happens, and Bronwyn's like, dinner in an hour. And I'm like, we just had lunch. And the talking head Bronwyn goes, Todd and I always have a big celebration for our wedding anniversary every year. And we see these photos for like all of these different like exotic locations for each anniversary. I really love Todd. And if I didn't, I should really have earned a lot of money after 10 years. We've been together for a long time. This is a big deal. We see Whitney getting ready. We see like a big catering truck. There's people like decorating. Like they're really going all out. The ladies have brought their glam squad. John Barlow asks Lisa, "Did you get over lunch?" And Lisa goes, And he's like, "Are you ready for dinner?" Yeah, I'm actually ready for dinner. I feel so much better with Bronwyn, and, like, I know she's my friend, and I will say this, listen, I know this is potentially bad vibes, but, like, Lisa Barlow's foundation looks a lot like the orange on Trump, like, it's very Trumpy orange. Did you guys notice that? And I know they blended in, but just, like, at first, you're like, "Whoa." It's like, "Oh my god, I feel like I'm watching the news again." Anyways, John's like, "So we're not getting kicked out?" And Lisa's like, "No." But and then, like, basically with Sean and Angie, I don't even know. The issue has changed so many times. "You know what?" She goes, "You know what? I forgot to tell you. When I was with Heather and Meredith, at the spa, Meredith was like, 'My feelings are hurt about Sean. Like, he didn't apologize for saying I used my son.'" I really wish John would have been like, "Okay, cool, but that's literally not the issue that we're talking about in regards to you, Lisa, my wife." We flash back to that scene where Meredith is telling Heather and Lisa, "Well, Sean made a statement about Brooks, saying that I'm ba using him like a pawn to deflect from my own wrongdoing." Lisa tells John, "I said to her, 'I'm sorry that that happened.'" And John is, like, trying to drink a Diet Coke as he's listening to Lisa, "But I can't speak to that because my experiences haven't been like that." And then today I was like, "It's" and then today I was like and John goes, "Join the club." And Lisa goes, "It's frustrating." Doesn't pronounce the R's. It's frustrating. And then over on Whitney and, Justin, they're getting ready. Justin's ironing while Whitney's putting on makeup. Things are so awkward with Lisa, Justin. She hasn't spoken to me since lunch. And she hasn't really spoken to you since the first season. And Justin's like, "So is there any hope there? Or do you feel like it's gonna continue tonight?" "I believe my source fully. How do I move forward and trust Lisa, though?" So is this the Alibaba thing? Like, what I trust my source, okay, so it is the Alibaba thing. Whitney goes, "That's the problem. She's never going to admit it, but I don't know how to trust her. I don't know. I'm just gonna see how it goes, because I don't even know if I have 2 shits left to give." Okay, so we're in a good place. We're in a good, solid place. The gigantic diamond necklace gets put on Bronwyn by Todd. This has gotta be a loner. There's no way this is hers. It's crazy insane. And, so, I mean, I'm just shocked. So she gives him a kiss, happy anniversary, let's go. There's a trumpet player all of a sudden. We see the cocktail bar set up. There's mariachi players playing, and, it's just a wild scene. And Bronwyn, says hi to Dave and Quincy Hamilton, they're friends, so they even have friends coming in for this. I'm like, "Ah, I'm so glad you came. Ah, I haven't seen you in so long." And Todd's like, "Hello, Quince. Hello. Beautiful. All right, all right, all right. It's our 10-year anniversary too, Davy." Sean and Angie come out and see the scene. There's, like, these big lit up letters that say B-Tran, B-T-R-A-N. I was Tran. What is that? Tran. But everybody's just really just blown away, and then all of a sudden, Meredith and Seth come out. Meredith, everybody's in glam kinda, but Seth comes out, he's like, "I'm fucking chill tonight. I got a green jacket, a nice black blouse, and I'm wearing a Seth Marks white baseball cap. Yeah, I'm chill tonight." So he's dressed down. Everybody is very excited, and they're like, "Happy anniversary, Bronwyn. Happy anniversary." The mariachi music playing. Now Meredith and John come out, and Meredith's like, "Am I too casual? Oh my god." And everybody's acting like they haven't seen each other in so long. And Lisa's like, "Oh my god, Bronwyn, you have other friends here. You look beautiful. Look at your necklace. Oh, wait, is this the new one? Is this what you picked?" She says, "Yes." There's no way she bought wait, I thought the jewelry lady from last week went home. There's no way. This was like a 3 mil wasn't this millions? Bronwyn says, "I know that Lisa's eye drawn right to my necklace, but what I'd like her to be drawn to is an apology or a decent friendship. But I'm starting to realize she might wanna keep it more surface level, and I'm sad about that. But maybe I have to respect that that's all to Lisa." Yeah, a little secret for all of you ladies. None of you guys like, any of you guys. It's do not be shocked about any of this. Mariachi music continues, and then Bronwyn introduces Lisa to Todd's lawyer. Like, "I'm gonna introduce you as Todd's lawyer." And so the guy's like, "Yeah, I'm Todd's friend and lawyer." Um, and, Bronwyn's like, "Yes, it's one of Todd's lawyers. I know that you look for lawyers as well." And Lisa's like, "Oh, I love this. I love this." And we flash back to the Beauty Lab and Laser Jen Shaw scene where Lisa's on the phone with, like, 8 of her lawyers, like, "Oh my god, this is so weird. Did Homeland Security show up for that? I'm, like, literally shook. It just scared me. Should I be stressed? I'm physically shaking." Iconic. Rowan says, "If you need a lawyer tonight, Lisa, Chris is on." I love it. Now Whitney and Justin come out. They're like, "Oh my god, it's beautiful." They have a mariachi band. Everybody had staggered arrivals, I guess. They were in the same house. And then Todd goes, "These are the guys that have a tequila brand. It's mediocre tequila, you know." I like finally somebody just calls it out. Vita is potentially mediocre tequila, right? Like, yeah, mediocre. Mediocre. So Whitney comes in, hugs Todd, and Whitney goes, "So what does RT band stand for?" And, Todd is like, "Well, RTB is me, Richard Todd Bradley, and she's Bronwyn Newport, Bronwyn Allison Newport. So, of course, it's RT bad. RT bad. Of course it is." It's one of those things, it doesn't really super roll off the tongue, but as long as it means something to them, that's all that matters, right? RT band for life. RT band. That might be a good t-shirt. RT band. So, sorry. So Seth turns to Sean and goes, "This is gonna be interesting tonight." And Sean's like, "It always is, right?" And Seth's like, "Hey, yeah, are you thinking about that whole pea thing with the asparagus from earlier still, right?" And then Whitney tells Angie, "Did you see what Seth is wearing tonight?" That's so funny. And Angie's like, "Oh, that's a cute little number." They're making fun of what he's wearing. I mean, come on, that's mean girl behavior. So Bronwyn tells Todd, "Can you get their attention, please?" And Todd's like, "Hey." Bronwyn's like, "That was so gracious. We are so excited you guys are here. Should we sit? Should we have dinner? Let's do this. Yay!" And so everybody sits down. I like that there's a couple stragglers that are their actual friends. I would love to have interviewed them. Everybody says the table is gorgeous. It's just gonna be an amazing, nice night. Justin says, "That necklace is unbelievable." And Angie goes, "Todd's got another 10 years out of you with that thing," Angie says. And, Bronwyn goes, "Brittany is not wrong. Brittany is not wrong. I'm willing to do almost anything to stay with Todd." Ah. The bad thing for Todd is actually I'm not willing to do anything. It's not like I offered him like a lifetime subscription to BJ's Club. So what guys, I looked into this a little more. BJ's Club, I thought it was the pizzeria, BJ's Pizzeria. I think she's referring to blowjobs. It's a family show, I know, but I just wanted to try to be accurate in my reporting. Andrew goes, "I mean, but you're kinda gonna have to give a lifetime of BJ's for that." And Bronwyn goes, "Lucky for me, Todd travels a lot." And Whitney goes, "Heck, one goes a long way." It sure does, Whitney. Just laughing. It's like a full-on fever. Food is getting served, wine is getting poured, hushed chatter among the crowd. Um, they're talking about something being miserable but beautiful, and the Brownwood's like, "It's kind of like an analogy for Todd and I's marriage, miserable but beautiful." And I don't necessarily understand these jokes. It's a little weird, and it's starting to get me worried about their relationship. Like it's miserable but beautiful. No, obviously, I adore Todd. I don't want to bore everybody with all the reasons. And Todd's just sitting there with his arms crossed again. And she goes, "Actually, I could do it really fast. There's only two." No, 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 no. No, there's too many things. Too many things. And Seth goes, "Top three." I adore so many things about Todd, all the Todds. If you take out your black card, there's a reason I like you. Anyway, that's number one. And they've done this bit at parties before because Todd has the black card ready to take out. And so everybody's like, "Oh." He's like, "I knew that's what you were going for, Todd." And everybody's kind of politely laughing, but I think like the darkness is starting to set in. And then Meredith goes, "Look, I don't know all that much about Bronwyn and Todd's relationship, but it feels like there's a mild tension there." But I see a mild tension, but I don't even know if that's the right word. It's an unusual engagement with each other. Which Meredith, I hate to rub salt in wounds, but like Todd's staying there all weekend. He ain't going to Big Lots in Columbus. You know what I'm saying? Bronwyn continues, "We have tons of fun together. He has made me a better person. Everything is so wonderful. And I feel that way about so many of you as I'm getting to know you as I've known you for a long time. And I think we have good days, we have bad days, and we hope that good and bad are fun at the very least, or at least a good story at the end of it, right?" And Todd's with his arms. He goes, "Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. So maybe to a good story. Here's to the good days." Now, I will say this was kind of a bizarre speech, not even kind of bizarre speech, but I also think maybe she was like a little tipsy and she's just one of those people that can hide it well. And she's just potentially talking a little bit out of her ass. Who knows? Everybody cheers, glass is clinking. And then Angie gets up and I was like, "Oh no, Angie, what are you doing? What are you doing?" And she has like a game. Of course, she has a game. An anniversary party. So Angie's like, "Hey, I'm Greek, everyone. Anyways, when I was little, I used to watch the Newlywed Game, and I was like, I'm gonna be on the Newlywed Game when I grow up and get married. And so this is our version of the game, and I'm gonna hand everyone a little marker, and I'm gonna ask some questions. And I'm so sorry to the guests. I only planned enough for the couples that I knew were on the trip. So these fucking guests, they don't even get to play the Newlywed Game, but also it's kind of better off. Like they're gonna have to write shit like, "Do you like to 69 with your partner?" But he's like, "Yeah, it's better for your marriage if you don't play." And Meredith goes, "Oh, you guys can have my whiteboard. I'd be happy to share. Uh, I give it to you." So the rules are you can't look at your partner, you cannot look at the answer they write, and you cannot tell a lie. And then Lisa goes, "We hate liars." And Whitney clocks it. Whitney's a liar. You have to hide your board from your person. And now we have our third bit of the show, the not so newlywed game with a full-on graphic. Usually I get super annoyed with things like this, but Salt Lake is so bizarre this season that I'm like, yeah, it works. So question number 1, who apologizes first? So the couples have to write down who apologizes first and then reveal their answer, see if they got the right answer. And Lisa says, "Me," and, John says, "Lisa." So they got that right. And Lisa goes, "We're insane." And then Meredith writes, "Me," and, Seth writes himself. He writes, "Moi." "Sorry, good morning," and he says, "That's my morning mantra." So Meredith and Sean out of the gate, wrong answer, right? And then Meredith goes, "Oh, on the days you're home." And Angie's like, "Okay, good way to start the day. Alright, alright." Awkward, awkward. Meredith in a talking head goes, "Not only am I the first one to apologize for, I'm also the one who owes way less apologies. I'm rarely wrong." Okay, sure. So then Angie goes, "Bronwyn and Todd." And they both have it right. Bronwyn and her on his board. Okay, good. You 2 are on the same page. Whitney, they both got it right. Whitney's the answer. And, Sean gets it right. Sean is the first to apologize. They got it right. So, Seth and Meredith are the only ones that didn't agree. And Bronwyn's like, "So only the Marxes are on their way to divorce." Next question, Angie says, "What is your husband's favorite sexual position?" Wait, 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 wait. We go from who apologizes first to what's your favorite sexual position? I mean, that's a wild leap. We've got to have missed some questions in the edit here. Like, come on. Like, you're gonna raw dog that question? Everybody laughs. Todd even seems like he's enjoying it. Like, these guys, okay, I'm liking this now. I'm liking this. And Lisa goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm like so private." In a talking head, she goes, "I don't know if this is some kind of segue into an after dinner party, but John and I are not interested. Pause. We're monogamous." Wouldn't that be great if this was Angie's warm up to get like a fuck fest started, like a key party in Palm Springs? It just throws like the whole show off the rails. Like the show never was the same once they started wife swapping. Like, and Lisa's like, "I don't want to ride it. I don't want to ride it. Oh my God, I'm embarrassed." And we cut to commercial. We come back and we sorry. Um, sorry, this is so ridiculous. And when I was watching it, I was like, I don't even know if I wanna know what all of these people. So Todd and Bronwyn go first, and Todd goes, "I just said all sexual positions." And Bronwyn says hers says, "Who cares as long as I don't wanna talk after." Funny and also weirdly dark. So and Angie's reading it like, "Who cares as long as I" okay, so you guys didn't get it. And now it's the Barlow's turn. And Lisa reveals, and Lisa has she drew a heart with an arrow through it, and she wrote all of them and then wrote JB forever. John Barlow forever. All of them. And then John wrote Lisa on top. Lisa on top. And Lisa goes, "He kept it PG." And then John goes, "Wait, I forgot to add a word. I forgot to add a word." He goes, "What did you put?" And he goes, "Lisa bouncing." "I'm bouncing on you, John. JB forever." And so now it's the Marxes, and Seth turns his around and goes, any." And then Meredith says, "Not up for discussion." That's what she writes. "I'm not gonna discuss such filth with the people at this table. No." And now it's Whitney, the Rose family, and Justin wrote "wit on top," which is another thing Justin and John Barlow see eye to eye with those smashed taters. They could have just been like, "Hey, are we buds again? Let's talk. Let's go back to talking about our wives on top. Yeah, bouncing." Yeah. And then Whitney turns hers around and it says cowgirl, reverse cowgirl, BJ. A lot of it's good for the Wild West. And then Todd goes, anything else you want to share with us? And Justin's like, we got a little personal here. And then Sean puts his around, and Sean's favorite is reverse cowgirl. And Angie wrote from behind, and then drew, I shit you not, drew the Greek flag from behind. Is that like a big thing with the Greeks? And Angie goes, Greeks invented from behind, but this is the right hole. Thank you. Did the Greeks I love their yogurt, but did they invent the behind thing too? Good for the Greeks. Angie in a talking head goes, it's nothing we learned about in Sunday school, of course. It's just like a known fact. Then Angie goes, just to be clear, okay, question number 4. What if question number 4 is like, have you ever murdered anybody? And Seth's like, yeah, I murdered a hobo once. Like it stops the party cold. No, the next one is, who is your wife's least favorite person at this table? Why would you ever do this question? There's no way. This is a producer thing. And Bronwyn's like, this is a dirty game, and it really is. So Lisa immediately whips hers around and it says Whitney, of course. And when he goes, obviously, obviously, John goes, I didn't have time to put one. His is blank. Love you, John Barlow. KB forever. Angie goes, my first instinct is that I'm still working on things with Meredith, but I really like her. So Meredith, she wrote Meredith. And Sean goes, I have the same caveat we're working towards. And he wrote MAR. So for Meredith. And Meredith goes, you spelled my name wrong. It's MPR. It's MPR, Sean. And in a talking head, Meredith goes, Sean, since you're so upset with me that you can't stop talking about me, perhaps you should learn how to spell my name. So Brahma goes, okay, well, I wrote it in nice cursive with a heart over it, but I did say Lisa. And Lisa goes, me? What? What? And then the roses turn around, and Whitney wrote Meredith, and Justin wrote Lisa. Wow. So Lisa, 2 votes against Lisa. And then Bronwyn goes, no more game. And then Whitney goes, Lisa, do you still feel like Justin owes you an apology? And Lisa just kind of pauses and goes, yes. More pause. Have you ever been that aggressive towards him, though? I didn't feel like I was aggressive towards him. I felt like I was frustrated because what you were saying is a lie. Tense music. John's like, "Fuck, it's so late. We don't have time to get a place tonight. We gotta stay here." Bronwyn in a talking head goes, "I'm so over this argument about this who started the Alibaba rumor. At this point, I'm almost willing to say it was me. I'm the problem. I started the Alibaba rumor. Just so I can say I'll never do it again. In fact, I might use Todd's phone later, create a Twitter account, and start a whole new rumor so we can just talk about something else." This is the Reality Von Tease Part 2 origin story. This is the villain origin story of like later that night, she starts creating the fake Twitter account. So Justin goes, Lisa, you came directly. I said, I know what I said. I said, how do you deal with your wife being a liar? Justin goes, I know that my wife's not a liar. So when that came to me, the way it came to me, my reaction was probably stronger than I wish it would have been, you know? So I apologize for how I reacted to that. At least like, thank you, Justin. And I'm sorry. And Lisa goes, I'm sorry for putting you in that position. Not on top while I'm moving, right, John? So Lisa now apologizes, and Whitney goes, thank you for apologizing to him. And Lisa goes, okay, you're welcome. Because that's something that we've never done before. Bring the husbands into it. In a talking head, Whitney goes, we all know that Lisa will never take accountability for the role that she plays in the rumors about Prism with Alibaba. So the fact that she was able to apologize to my husband is enough for me to put a button on that and be done with the Alibaba thing. Can we have Meredith say it one more time? Alibaba. So I guess that puts the pin in the Alibaba. And Meredith goes, that was really nice. That was really nice. And it was really nice to see. Sean, I want to say, like, I appreciate earlier the conversation we had, you know. And we flash back to the Greek Mafia 25th anniversary party where Meredith is like, I'm sorry that everything that unfolded last year unfolded. Like Meredith helping spread the gay rumors about Sean. I did not start or spread any of those rumors. And it's hurtful to me in all honesty when you used my son and said that I was playing him as a pawn to deflect from something that I didn't even do to begin with. See, this is the problem with Lisa Meredith and most of the women on these shows is that they will like take accountability, but then in the same breath bring up something the other person did to immediately like get out of the apology that they just gave, right? So Sean in this flashback says, "Well, to me, it did look like you corroborated and had something to do with not perpetuated." So, and Meredith goes, "None of the above." Now back to this dinner, Meredith tells Sean, "But I have to be honest, I walked away a little hurt and upset." You know? Pause. I felt like I gave you a heartfelt apology over something I didn't even do just because I felt badly that you went through it. And I told you that I was hurt by something you said about my son, and you didn't apologize to me. And Sean's like, "What? Oh my God." Like, and I'm like, "Oh my God, what are we even doing here? What?" So Sean is like, "Okay, so here's the," and Mary's is like, listening phase. One of my biggest pet peeves is I walked away from that conversation thinking we were good, right? And now you're bringing it back up and we're not good. Tense music. Seth's like, "Hey, you hear about asparagus?" And Sean's like, "That's a little bit irritating. First and foremost, I think we could have probably handled it that night. I walked away feeling good about our conversation." Meredith goes, I didn't. Uh-oh. I was highly apologetic for something I didn't do and told you that I was hurt by a comment you made. And all I wanted was, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that about your child. That was it. And he goes, "Look, you're gonna have to tell me. Let's revisit what I said. I really want to know what you say I said about Brooks." "Well, you said it in the press, and I can put it up for you later if you'd like." And when he goes, "No, just say it. We'd like the proof." And she goes, "The gist of it, and these were not your exact words, so I want to clarify that. But the message was that I was using my son's sexuality to deflect from my own bad behavior." Yeah, it was a gist. And we have a screen pop up with Sean's image and a podcast playing, and Sean saying she took the opportunity to leverage her son and things like that, knowing that this didn't land quite the way they wanted it to. Okay. But also bringing it up in the press. Like, I love podcasting. Oh my God, what a dream job. I don't consider this the press, right? I don't. I don't. I just don't. And also, yeah, maybe we need a hard and fast rule about anybody of the cast or periphery of the cast appearing on podcasts. But he goes, "Meredith, I didn't say anything about Brooke in the press." She's like, "You did." And when he's like, "What did he say, Meredith? The proof." And then Seth has his phone out and he goes, "Sean Trujillo accuses Meredith Marks of keeping her son after gay rumors. Proof, biatch! Proof, biatch!" He explodes out of nowhere. Like, this was the weirdest uncalled proof, biatch. Is this what Big Lots, is it the image that Big Lots puts? Big Lots new slogan is deals, biatch. I know exactly where that slogan's going to come from. But he explodes. He goes, proof, biatch. At first I thought he was telling Sean this, but he's actually screaming at Whitney. And we cut to commercial. Bronwyn's head is down. Though. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. What are we? Proof. So we come back from commercial, so we get to hear the proof, biatch again. Everybody's just tense now. Tense. And when he goes, "Did you just call me a biatch?" And Seth goes, "I did, because you just said, 'Show me the proof.'" And Meredith's like, "Yeah, because you're lying about proof. You know, and you got the proof." And Seth's like, "Show me your proof. Show me your proof. It's enough." And Whitney's like, "Wow, Seth." In a talking head, Whitney goes, "I gotta zip up my energy real tight right now because it is taking everything I have to not leap across the table and beat the shit out of this man." Also, hey, Justin, where the fuck were you on this one? You come to her defense with John, you won't step up to Seth? Like, you don't wanna have smashed taters in an awkward scene next week with Seth? Like, where Justin, what? And Meredith goes, "Yeah, Seth is tired of his wife coming under fire with a bunch of lies. Yeah, he might not even be with me most of the time. He's in Columbus, Ohio, but he's tired. He's tired of the lies." And then Angie goes, "That's like clickbait shit. Like, what's the fucking comment?" In a talking head, Angie goes, "No, a headline from a random blog proves nothing. Like, she has way too much time on her hands, and she's just looking for drama. It's almost like she's on a Real Housewives show or something." Anyway, Sean goes, "You're taking it out of context. If you probably listened to the entire podcast." Oh my God. If I have to hear one more time, if you listen to the entire podcast, oh God, we got a ban talking about podcasts on these shows. You'd probably understand where I was coming from. What I can remember is this shit that was talked about last year not landing well, and you utilize the LGBTQ community kind of leverage, some sort of middle ground in that. And Meredith is just like death staring her, like, "You can leave, Sean, and you as well, Whitney. Proof, biatch." But I never said anything specifically about Brooks. So you're saying that you never said any of this. I've already told you twice. It's a little attitude. I've already told you twice that I would never use your kid in a bad way. I would never use that against you. Never. So for you to kinda, victimize yourself once again and make it about you, I am not victimizing myself at all. I told you that I was hurt by something, that's all. I can't authentically give you an apology, Meredith, for any because you're not sorry. It's not about being sorry or not sorry, Meredith. I can't remember leveraging or using Brooke as a pawn, as you would like to say. And Meredith just has this cockeyed, like, "Oh, you wanna see the devil, bitch?" And then she goes, "It was just a strange response, and it was upsetting. It upsetting." Well, let me tell you something, Meredith. If I said anything demeaning towards Brooke, I'll certainly apologize, but I haven't done that. I have not done that, and I'll stand on that, and I'll double down on that. Okay? In a talking head, she goes, "I mean, this isn't a real apology, but we're beating a dead horse. Like Sean and Angie clearly don't see any wrongdoing, and I think that that's fine to talk about someone's child in that way. So noted, noted. Thank you for letting me know. I'm moving on." I wish we brought up Emily Simpson's twins. Yeah, and then Emily Simpson, they said bad things about Heather DeBrown. Yeah, that's how it is. Sean goes, "I do want a path forward with you guys. Like, we had a great time today. The volleyball. I can see us, continuing to have a friendship and a great time. But, I mean, that's my wish. But at the end of the day, I think it's up to you guys." So, God, I just keep waiting for Todd to go, I've had enough. I'm out of here, Bronwyn. This is bullshit." Anyways, Andy's like, "Okay, let's change the subject. Let's, in other news, like, I love Todd," Angie says. "He's one of the funner ones at the table tonight." And Todd's just sitting there expressionless. You just pause. And then Angie goes, "Todd, let's hear about, like, how Gwen is reconnecting with her grandparents." And, like, Angie, where the fuck did that come from? Like, even I know I wouldn't bring that up at that anniversary party. And Angie's like, "Let's hear about that." And Todd's like, "No, we're not going there. We're not going." And Roman goes, "That's not a happier topic, Ange." And Angie's like, "Oh, it's well, that's worse than what you just said there. That's worse than what you just said." Oh, and Angie's like, "Oh my God, is it? Oh my God." And Roman's like, "Yes, get back to them fighting." And Angie goes, "Well, I thought it was great news for your daughter. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." No, Brahma goes, "No, it's okay, it's okay. It was a surprise when that came up with Lisa and I obviously, right? It's not all surprises are happy in the moment, right? So because remember, Lisa knows the grandparents for her daughter, right? And then Todd goes, "Look, it was well-intentioned, you know." And Brahma goes, "Yes, Lisa's been really great. She went and talked to them. She's in a hard position being friends with them, being friends with me, being friends with them. My feeling is that they have not been involved in my child's life since she was born." And then Todd's like, "It's not a feeling, it's a fact." Dark pause. Everyone's like, "Well, yes, that's fair. Lisa didn't mean to step on a minefield. She didn't. I'm the one who showed her the picture. It was an accidental coincidence that came up." And then Todd goes, "Look, it's not a minefield. It's not even a field we're walking through. It's not gonna happen. This is over. Done, done, done." And then he goes, "Done." And then everybody just pauses. The Todd father is laid down the law. In a talking head, Bronwyn is like, "Well, I don't know. I mean, this is I was worried the ladies were going to embarrass me. It's hard to embarrass me in this moment as much as I love him. Um, yes, there is definitely a dynamic around anger and frustration that Todd and I handle very differently. Todd has a very specific stopping point, and there is no going past that." And then Todd goes, "It's just gonna piss me off. So let's stay away from it. I'm not gonna have this discussion at a dinner table." Now we have a Todd talking head. He's like, "I'm not gonna have this discussion at a dinner table to celebrate our anniversary. It's a personal issue for Gwen and Bronwyn. He is a supporter of both of them. It's no one's business to discuss this at a dinner table." I wonder if Todd at this point knows that it's been brought up in a scene with Lisa already. He continues, "Frankly, it wasn't Lisa's business to bring it up to begin with. She was Todd lovingly. Todd is super protective of Gwen and I. So he is, yes, yes, yes." It's all very awkward on the table. And then Meredith's like, "Is anybody else cold?" He's like, "Can we move this party inside?" And Bronwyn was just bummed out. Really? Ooh, I mean, that was their anniversary. Brutal. So we pick up the next morning, and I thought Seth would already be gone, but he's still with us by some miracle. And I was like, "Oh my God, did Seth quit his job at Big Lots? Like, what's happening here?" And when he's like, "I don't know if it was just pure exhaustion last night, but we ended up having a really good time after." Yeah. And they flash back to there was like big like drone lights in the sky with two hearts for Todd and Bronwyn. And they're all, like, kinda looking at it, and, like, the husbands have their arms wrapped around their wives, except for Todd, who has his, arms crossed, not holding Bronwyn, who's in front of him. So they're looking at these drones, and then all of a sudden, Angie has these big, like, unicorn inflatables, so they're, like, doing prop comedy, and they're gonna go into the pool and jacuzzi. We see Seth and Meredith and the gang playing pool. They do look like they're having a good time, and even Todd's there, but you can see Todd in the background on his phone. And then the ladies are in the jacuzzi, and when he's like, "Grab your glass, please, because this is what it's about. We fight so much, but these are the moments." And Lisa goes, "But we really love each other." And then when he goes, "Last one in the pool has to," and they're gonna race, to get in the pool first. I don't know. Meredith gets in, it's freezing out of the jacuzzi. But the point is, all these women all of a sudden are having a great time together. They're all laughing. Whitney goes, "Waking up this morning, aside from a slight hangover, I think we're all in a better place." And now we're at the racetrack. This is what they came for, thermal, for $1 million. Can you believe that? And so they got these VIP tickets, I guess. And bro was like, bringing the girls to the race, is a big thing, but this is super VIP. And they meet the contact, and we find out that Todd is very close friends with retired Indy driver Davey Hamilton. And Todd and I have called Davey and pulled a lot of favors to put together this very exciting experience for the ladies today. So everybody walks into this indie event. Everybody's excited. They're going to head this way, and they're going to meet one of the big race car drivers, Joseph, who's going to come out before the race to meet them. And the kid's like a young, good-looking kid. And Lisa goes, "Take your shirt off. Let's see those nips." And the guy comes out, is like, "Hey." And John's like, probably 20 years younger than me, great shape. "Take your shirt off. That's fine. Just don't take Lisa to dinner. And don't get on top, especially when she's bouncing." Lisa's like, "Nice to meet you." And then Seth goes, "Hey, I got to ask for a friend. Are you single? Are you single?" And he's like, "No, I'm not. I'm married. I have a young son. I hate the Real Housewives." And they're like, "Oh, good for you. Sad for everyone else." And then, then Seth is like, "Sorry, Heather." Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're going to set him up with Heather Gay. Okay. Cool. "Sorry, Heather. Hey, can I ask you another question? Hey, you ever have asparagus, buddy?" Anyway, so this guy comes, says hi. They go to the pit. They pick a team. They fast race for win. Then they're in like the backstage area, the front stage area, like this tent with all this VIP shit. They're watching the cars go round and round and round. It's super exciting. Seth is holding Meredith, one of his last moments with her. Justin is holding Whitney. Todd is on his phone, like with his arms crossed, but one of the hands have the phone in it, doing business. I'm guessing. Whitney's just on like Daily Mail or something. And Seth goes, "What did I do to deserve this?" Because she's like kind of cuddling him, which is a dark comment. Like, you never touch me like this. So Bronwyn comes over to Lisa, and um, Bronwyn goes, "When you're done taking selfies, can we chat?" And Lisa's like, "Yes, what up? Let's do it." I don't know. These cars just keep going around and around. Bronwyn and Lisa sit down to have this conversation, right? And like, we're gonna do this race. So Roman goes, "So I think we've got to finish." And then we keep cutting back to the cars and the race cars. And Roman's like, "Yes, what happened yesterday? Yes, more race car noises." And Lisa's like, "I feel like we didn't get to finish our conversation." And the car's droning all of this conversation out. I don't know, you guys. It's a choice. I like that they're making choices. Roman goes, "I can't talk to you when there's cars here. Let's talk at the house." Yes, yes, yes. "I don't want to have a scene in front of everyone, so maybe when we get back to the house, we'll make some time for me and we'll chat." "Yeah, yeah, of course. Ah, of course." We come back from commercial. We are back at the house. Oh, what a race day. So exciting and fun. And Sean goes, "Todd, I appreciate it. Thanks." Todd's like, "Yeah, yeah. All right." Okay, so everybody's coming back in the house, and Seth, I think Seth has to leave now. Seth has to go back to Columbus. Whitney's already pouring herself a big glass of wine. Everybody's having a little charcuterie. Angie's outside aerating their lawn for them. And Sean's out there with Angie. And Sean goes, "I'm going to hire you as my aerator." And Angie's like, "I'm not cheap. I'm Greek." And then Seth comes out and Sean's like, "What's up, buddy?" And Seth's like, "I wanted to say goodbye." And so he's like shaking hands. I also, by the way, Seth has a AirPod in, but I feel like that's not a real AirPod. Is there a possible that Seth has dupe AirPods, like the ones you get on Amazon? Anyway, Seth's like, "Good seeing you, brother. Yeah, take care. Good spending quality time. Heading back to Ohio, the great Columbus." And then Angie goes, "1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue." And Seth goes, "Good to see you. Bye, guys." So no mention of awkwardness from the night before. And Angie goes, "Well, he was in a hurry to get to the airport." I was like, "Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. It was like last night we were talking and he brought up the clickbait and, calling you guys biatches, and, he's calling you guys biatches, but he means bitches. You know what I mean? Whoa, are you telling me biatches is slang for bitches? Oh my God." And Angie goes, "Thing is, like, they were quiet today at the race. I don't know if there's something else." And then Whitney now is coming up. "Can I join you guys? Can I join?" and Justin comes out, and he's like, "Look at you 2, you guys look great." They look like, clothes I buy on Shein, like, "Oh, this will be fun summer wear." And then Angie goes, Sean and I were just sitting here chatting about that awkward moment at dinner last night with Seth and, like, blurting out biatch." And when he goes, "That is so unnecessary and rude and, like, uncalled for." And a talking head, Justin goes, "When did the men start getting involved in everything? You would have thought that we learned our lesson at Angie's." Oh, and then we flash back to that, and we see that Seth wasn't there. Also, they have Maylee's husband. What happened to Maylee? Remember Maylee from this season? Another bizarre thing. Maylee just went what if just random housewives go missing in Utah, like, all the time? It's an epidemic. Anyways, Justin goes, "Oh, actually, Seth wasn't at Angie's." Huh, shocking. So I guess Seth is the issue in the men. Is that what Justin's saying there? When he goes, "Didn't you already work this out?" And Sean's like, "I thought so." And they brought it back again as another problem, a grudge. That's what I'm so sick of, is like, you work it out, you turn around, it's still a problem. It's almost like we're on a Real Housewives show or something, you know? Angie goes, I feel like I should say so much because I want to move forward, with her just to keep the peace. Like, where is it getting me? She always has a problem with you and I. And he goes, "I know, I'm extending the olive branch. I mean, I'm gonna have to start slapping her with it." It's like she's just not taking it. It's like, "Do you want it or not? Like, I'll retract the olive branch." So inside, Seth's like, "Okay, I gotta get out of here, honey. I gotta get out, Mare. I delayed. Are we cool? Like this traveling?" And Meredith's like, has her glasses on. She goes, "Well, it's a lot. I'm not loving it, you know. I gotta actually fly into Minneapolis, the home of Minneapolis, Prince, then I gotta go to Columbus. Will you fix my collar, please, Mayor? It's a little poking up there." "Okay. Anywho." And Meredith goes, "Well, that sounds awful of you. Of you." Talking head, she goes, "I'm grateful that Seth decided to stay longer and is just leaving slightly for me. Um, so he's not flying back to Utah. He's going to Ohio. He'll be on all week, and we resolved the immediate fire, but there's, smoldering still going. Like, we haven't really fixed anything. Travel safe, Seth." He closes the door. And then outside, Lisa and Bronwyn, they're gonna dip their tootsies into the pool. And Bronwyn's like, "I have so many bruises. What did we do last night? I don't remember." It was probably the pool or the hot tub. I think it was the volleyball. "Did you get bruises? I feel like I'm bruised right here." And Bronwyn goes, "I love it. Anyways, I think we've got to finish our little. If I didn't care about you, I would just put a wall up about that, right? I feel like when we left off at the table yesterday, there was so much going on, but I feel like you were starting to share, like, how you feel personally, right?" And a talking head Bowman says, "I do want to understand what the problem is. I am open to the idea that in Lisa's mind, I am the problem and she's not some crazy, vicious, two-faced bitch who's awful to other women, right?" She tells Lisa, "I think me being friends with your friends has changed things between us, and I don't totally know why. How do you feel like it's changing things?" "Well, can I tell you how I feel? I had a conversation with Heather because I felt like Heather was upset. My thing is, I don't know what Heather did when she left other than come and talk to you. But I sat in my house in tears." And we flash back to her in tears. Proof. Proof, biatch! "And I know that you're saying Heather was emotional or Heather was explaining her side, but Heather also dropped some bombs in there like I'm two-faced and I'm conniving and I'm mean, and that's nasty, Lisa. They're nasty things to say, and I get the way you feel that way. I'm just telling you, well, wherever it came from, I feel like either you don't want to say Heather in that moment, I don't know that Bronwyn or Bronwyn's never been that way to me, or frankly, you believe I am two-faced." Lisa's just staring at her. Bronwyn and a talking head goes, "Heather has been telling people that I am vicious. two-faced, and I am very thrown off with Lisa not defending me. There's a lot of times when not saying something says a lot, and I don't know what it would cost her personally or her friendship with Heather to say I'm not a vicious two-faced bitch. Vicious two-faced bitch. I'm a vicious two-faced bitch. Put it on a shirt. And Lisa's unwillingness to say that tells me she feels a way about me that I didn't know she felt. I felt like I was in a hard place because I'm like in some situation. It was confusing that and Brahma goes, "Wow, okay, you're gonna listen. I would like you to listen to me. I felt like I was a confusing thing, and this is why I was interpreted as Two-Face or Heather. I feel like she perceived it that way because of your way of communicating and her way of communicating 100%." And Bronwyn goes, "You know what all those words say to me?" And there's a pause. I wish the next words were like, "Those words say to me, get the fuck out of here." Bronwyn says, "Right now, I'm in a place with Heather where I'm more concerned about Heather's feelings than yours. And that's fine. You guys are in that place." "No, Bronwyn, that's not the case." "Well, I don't need you to be worried about your feelings, but I'm trying to tell them to you. That's why I'm in the day and I'm about on the verge of tears right now. I think if you and I are in a place where you can say you're not two-faced. I've made tons of mistakes, but your experience with me is not that I'm two-faced. That's kind of wild that you can't agree to that." "Okay, I didn't say I wasn't agreeing. Do you think it's fair for her to say I'm terrified? Is it fair for anyone to say I'm terrified? I'm not gonna make this Heather versus me. Am I terrified?" He goes, "You're not terrified. I'm gonna put the bar all the way on the floor for you so you can trip over it." Damn. Am I two-faced? He said, "Is your experience with me that I'm two-faced?" And then Lisa goes, "It's my experience with you that you're two-faced." And Robin's like, "Oh my god, you're honestly not fucking thinking about it." And Lisa's like, "No, no, stop. It's like it's hard. I mean, it's And Ron's like, "It's not a hard question for you to answer." And Lisa goes, in a talking head, "It's hard for me to answer this question right now because I do think you are two-faced sometimes. And like, I do feel I can trust you 100%. And like, I hate that I'm in this position. Like, oh my God, get me out of this pool." In the scene, she goes, "It was so shitty that she came to your house. This is how I feel. And that she left and you were crying. And I feel badly that you were upset." Roman goes, "Okay, thank you. Like the bottom line is, do I think there's a huge misunderstanding between you two? 100%. And Roman goes, "No, no, no, don't end it. End it at all. End it at the I feel badly for you. Don't go back to misunderstanding no more. We don't need to baby Heather's feelings when she's not here. I will baby Heather's feelings myself when she and I work it out. I want to be a good friend to both of you." And I appreciate that, but it's gotta feel a little more balanced. And he goes, "Okay. I feel like I'm being needy with you, like I'm begging you to feel for me." Todd needs to butt in. Get out now. It's been 1 week since you've been out." Lisa goes, "Well, the bottom line is I'm here because I wanted to be with you, and most of it was free." Ron was like, "Okay." And then Lisa pulls a Carl Radke and goes, "Can I hug you?" "Can I hug you?" And she smiles. "Can I hug you?" What a weird And Bronwyn's like, "Yes, yes, yes, you can hug me." And then Lisa goes, "'Cause I know you hate hugs." And she's like, "I don't hate hugs. Everyone's acting like I'm like a terrorist." So they awkwardly hug. We cut to our last commercial break. Thank God. Okay, we are close to the end, and there's even a big moment that's about to happen right now. But everybody's packing up to leave, and Bronwyn's packing up with Todd. He has to pack his breathing machine, and she's like, "What would you do without me?" And there's just an awkward pause, and then Bronwyn's like, "I notice you are not responding," and he still doesn't respond. In a talking head, we have Todd looking very sullen, and the producer goes, "Would you ever do this again?" And he goes, No, I won't ever do it again." He looks directly down the barrel of the camera. "I will never do this again, and I will destroy this show." And then Whitney is packing up with Justin and says, "I went into Sean and Angie's room, and our headboards were against each other. Had I known, I would have messed with them all night." And they're like, "Yeah, we could have made sex noises. Yeah, on top, reverse cowgirl, like we all like it. Yeah." Okay, so everybody's packing, everybody's good. Um, and we're prepared to leave, and Lisa's talking to John, and John goes, "I'm excited to see our son Henry." And she goes, "Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see him. He's been so good." Whitney has a to-go cup for the ride, great. Lisa's gonna go rush home to Henry, who probably misses his parents. And everybody's kinda seems like they're in a good mood, right? So, it ends good, and Bronwyn comes out with Todd, and it's like, "You guys, is everybody ready? Should we get out of here? Okay, wait, wait, wait. Let's take a group picture. Let's do that." And so they go outside and all take a group picture together. And I'm like, "This is I need this group picture on my wall at some point." And Bronwyn's like, "We're all happy. Come in. Come all in. Let's all act like we like each other. Hello." And so we see the photo. Everybody's even Todd's smiling. Okay, we could end it right here, and it would have been fine. And then Angie all of a sudden goes, "How are we getting home?" And Bronwyn goes, "Well, I booked us all flights home. I got you, Ange. So we're not taking a private jet on the way back. We got an actual what the commoners use, right?" And Bronwyn goes, "I can mom Todd. I can mom Gwen. I'll mom you all the way home too, Angie." And Angie goes, "Mom me." Okay. I wasn't sure where to go. Okay. And then Lisa goes, "Check your flights." And so now we're like, "Check your flights." What okay. We're all flying home. And then Angie goes, "Well, I don't know where Sean's sitting. I'm 19A." And then Lisa holds Angie's hand like something's wrong. And Angie goes, "Why? Where are you sitting, Lisa?" And Lisa goes, "I don't know." And she's like now laughing nervously, like, and then she's like, "You don't know?" In a talking head, Lisa goes, I don't I don't carry coach and I don't fly coach." Oh, wow. Really shot across the bow at coach as well. The purse the wow. Lisa hates coach and she doesn't fly coach. I don't fly coach. No one wants to be the last one to get off the plane. Oh, dude, we gotta get Lisa Barlow on a Southwest flight, you know? We gotta make her fly just a travel show where Lisa has to fly coach. Oh my god. So Lisa goes, "We need to get to the airport so I can fix my ticket." And Angie goes, "You're not gonna be able to fix your ticket. It's a small plane. You're never gonna get first class at this point." And Lisa, like, takes this information in. And then Angie goes, "I'm on 19A. Hopefully, I'm sitting by you. Am I sitting by you?" And Brown goes, "In all honesty, there's 4 seats in first class, and I put Todd and I's skanky asses up there, and then I put you guys all next to your husband in the next best seats there was." Todd's listening to this whole thing. And then Brahma goes, "It's like a 65-minute flight." And then Lisa goes, "None of the accoutrements." Isn't it accoutrement? None of the accoutrements. And Sean goes, "For a whole hour and a half." And Lisa goes, "We're gonna be basic." Oh, Lisa's worst nightmare. And then Lisa goes, "Do you guys wanna head to the airport?" And Ryan's like, "Yeah, we should get going," right? It shouldn't be a big deal at all. But tense music starts playing, and Lisa is now talking to Meredith going, "Oh my god, I'm in 17C. Look, Meredith, I'm in 17C. I can't even remember the last time I flew in the back of the plane." Okay, so now I'm really confused about the Seth thing because did Bronwyn know that Seth was gonna leave a day early, or did she book Seth a ticket as well? Anyways, Justin's talking to Bronwyn and Todd. They're both on their phones, and Justin's like, "As beautiful as this trip was, Bronwyn and Todd, there was no naps on the itinerary, right?" Now Lisa has pulled John aside, and Lisa goes, "I wanna get home to Henry, but, like, I hate this." And John goes, "So you wanna make it longer and get home later just so you can sit in a bigger seat?" And Lisa's chomping on a carrot, and Lisa goes, "I know you don't." And then she goes, "Yeah, I do." And he goes, "I don't. I don't." Like, he's, like, trying to take a gentle stand. "I don't. I know you don't." And then back out there, Whitney and Justin are laughing, like, just taking pictures, joking about napping, just normal stuff. And Lisa tells John, "I haven't flown coach since I was in college." And John goes, I know, but, uh, we'll get on our flight and see if there's any first class ones available." Bronwyn in a talking head goes, "Lisa losing her mind about a 47-minute flight. And coach is not the brat summer I hoped we were headed towards. Well, Charlie XCX, I've invoked her name as well." So Bronwyn says, "I've already gotten Lisa a private plane. I have gotten her a gift. I've gotten John a gift. I have gotten them a rental house. She can sit and coach for 47 minutes. She's gonna be fine." So John is checking out the flight when Lisa's just watching. He's like, "Okay, so the main is sold out. Comfort Plus is sold out. They're all sold out." "Oh, you're kidding. Oh my god." John goes, "It's alright. Just close your eyes and imagine you're in first class." And she goes, "I mean, if worst case scenario, we just fly to LA. It's not like there's an issue with that." What the actual fuck? What? Like, we just had this episode 2 episodes ago where she was crying about Henry because nobody was showing up to his birthday party, and he didn't have a lot of friends, and he's gaming all the time, and now Lisa's like, "Henry's fine. We can't fucking not do if it's not first class, we can't do it. Are you kidding me? Henry's fine. He knows how to take himself to school." John, I can only imagine John just being like, yeah, okay, okay." So they're putting luggage in. Bronwyn and Todd are like, "We're getting out of here." And then Lisa asks Angie, "Did you upgrade?" Or Angie asks Lisa, "Did you upgrade?" And, like, it's like this real big issue for Lisa, and it really like, Lisa, I get it, but it blows like, at this point, I really do wanna see the life Lisa lives. I wanna know how much money they have. Like, I am really curious. And Lisa goes, "I would never normally travel like that. Like, everything else amazing. I would never ever fly." Oh, you guys, I will listen, when I fly coach, it's pretty much the only way, if not the only way I fly, and I feel gross. I feel I mean, I we're just disgusting, all of us coach flyers. And I gotta tell you, I have no problem with Coach the Purse either. I don't even care. But Lisa, dude, this is classic Lisa in not a good way. So that is the end of the episode. So I'm already like, oh, that is brilliant, but horrible at the same time. And there were a couple of things where like I still get aghast where I'm like, oh, damn, like that kind of shocked me. I was like, come on, Lisa, a 47-minute flight. Come on. Really? We're going to flex our muscle this way? Okay. So then we cut to that and we get our mid season trailer. And all of a sudden we have this intense music. Dung. And the chyron goes up and it says, Mexico. Sorry, I'm choking. Mexico, Mexico. And we hear a producer go, Meredith, and she's getting glam in a hotel room. And the producer goes, "Hey, I just have a couple questions for you." And Meredith goes, "No, no." And then we flash back to a dinner where Meredith is losing her mind like she did last season, where like, "You can leave." But we hear in this scene, Meredith goes, "Do not put your bad, dirty behavior on me." So she gets that pointy thing. You know how Dorinda, when she would get a little tipsy, she would get like loose. I like when Meredith, "Do not put your dirty behavior fingers on me." And then we see Heather laying in bed, and the producer goes, "Hey, how do you feel about the night as a whole?" And then we flash back to Heather at this dinner going, "Who told you this shit?" And then Whitney goes, "I reached out to Monica." Dun, 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 zoinks, Monica Garcia. And then we see Bronwyn in her hotel room, and the producer goes, "How do you feel this morning?" And Bronwyn's crying. She's like, "I don't know. This is not the brat summer I wanted to have." And then we see Bronwyn, I think, fighting with the producer. And says, "Lisa fucking can't take fucking criticism from anyone." I know that's a producer. She's like fully in a producer's face. And then we see Lisa getting glam, full Donald Trump orange again, like full orange. And the producer says, "Do you think there's any road back at this point?" And Lisa goes, "No, I don't." So this must be a coach ticket mishap. And then we flash back to the dinner that they're all fighting about, and we see Angie throwing something, and we see Lisa going, "Stop it, you dirty whore." And Angie K gets up, pointing in Lisa's face, "Fuck you, I'm free." And then Meredith, like, crying at the dinner table, going, "There's nothing okay about any of this." and then we hear church bells, and then all of a sudden it's like bright and sunny, and Lisa's on like a boat going, "Cheers to the best day ever. Still to come on this season of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City." We see forerunners. Oh, good, more activities. We see horse riding on the beach. We see them shopping at like little stores, and they see like a puppet with a dick, and it says, "I'm shy, but I don't know, it's some dick thing." And then we see Angie have a scene with her dad saying, "Losing mom at such a young age. For so long, I was mad." And she's crying, and then we see her hug her dad, and then we see Bronwyn and Todd at a party, and Todd's like, "I'm trying to be respectful," and, Bronwyn's like, "All they hear is you are sticking up for them. That is not what I was trying to do, Bronwyn. I know." And he goes, "Come on, let's leave him. Let's go. Come on." So Todd does the let's go again. And Heather, we see Heather picking up on this. Classic Heather. This is very Rinna. And Heather in a pool talking to the ladies going, "I think he's kind of mean to her. He dismisses her." And then on a boat, Bromwell goes, "If we want to speak about my husband, we can speak about the real shit I've gone through with Todd." And then Lisa's face is like, "Zoinks!" And Bronwyn's kind of like tearing up. So this could be a Franken edit where it could be like the real shit I've gone through with Todd, and it's all the positive things he's done in her life, or it could be some new revelation. But I do think that would be not. I just don't think Bronwyn would do that to Todd, even if there was real. I don't know. I'm curious to see what happens. And then we see Mary Cosby talking to her son, Robert Jr. And she goes, "You got to be real. You got to talk to me." And he's crying. He's crying. And then Mary to Angie in a scene goes, "Right now, my family needs." And Angie goes, "Is everything okay?" And Mary's wiping a tear from her eye. So obviously, this is the scene probably where Angie's like, "Why aren't you going on our cast trip?" And she says, "My family needs me here now." So Mary Cosby obviously is not on this cast trip. I would have loved you there, Mary Cosby. You've had a fantastic season, but I understand why you. And then we go back to that dinner where Heather goes, "We are obsessed with trying to expose each other." And then Brittany, we finally see Brittany, and she's like, "There's only one thing I haven't come clean about on this trip, that I'm in love with Jared Osmond." No, she doesn't say that. And then all of a sudden, we go to the dinner, and Meredith goes, "Did you put a recording device in my room?" But we don't know the angles, you can't tell who she's speaking to. Is it Brittany? And then Lisa explodes and goes, "Why can't we talk facts?" She says, it says, "Why can't we talk in facts?" But how she explodes, she goes, "Why can't we talk in facts? Why can't we talk in facts? Why do we have to lie?" And we see fireworks exploding. And then we see Whitney in a Lisa Barlow wig going, "Shut the fuck up and listen to me." More fireworks explosion. We see Lisa walk past a Vita Tequila signage, and then we see Brittany crying. That is how you do a mid-season trailer, folks. You got a lot of information, but at the same time, I don't know what the fuck is going on. We can only guess. You guys, we did it. That was I didn't think, listen, a quick 2 hours and 17 minutes. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. As always, I know there's a lot of content. Feel free to pick and choose, or feel free to support it all. Whatever makes your heart feel good. But man, we are so lucky to live in a world of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City season 5. Tomorrow, or I mean, I guess Saturday, we'll have the Real Housewives of Orange County reunion part 2, and then we will be done for the week. And then you can join us on Monday for a pop culture roundup with Sophie Ross. We got a lot of pop culture non-Bravo related to talk about. We got Sexiest Man Alive has been announced. John Krasinski, what the fuck? Me and Danny Pellegrino were way wrong in our guesses. So we'll talk about that and so much more. Bye, guys. Night.